Hello everyone, Conor here. Just as a small disclaimer, some things we may talk about on the pod shouldn't be attempted or recreated. Remember to keep everything legal, keep it between the ages, and don't tear up the ground while you're on the pull.
Conor used to talk on that like that here. He'd be like, "Sure, Mike, not all wet," and I was like, "No." Funny enough, no.
What are you thinking you're doing? Like,
excuse me, we had to do like before these boys
you
were to
rapping,
do.
were you?
Huh?
We did
You
talk on
rapping?
the desk for a brief period, and the desks are all over there.
Did this work?
The desk actually quite arguably, I think we actually sounded better through the desks.
Then
I have absolutely no idea what you said there. It sounded
So
better.
arguably, I actually think we sounded better through the desks, but it was you couldn't use it for TikTok.
Because your face was gone.
seat and hello, Conor.
So, Michael, Conor, welcome to the podcast.
I was gonna say, like, you're not Conor.
Yeah, why am I? Yeah, okay.
Something picks it up a wee bit, sure.
To be fair, you kind of in recent times have become like the third hidden member, and only you work shifts. We
Yeah.
probably would have had you on before now.
Yeah,
Right. Well, normally.
I normally
How
don't.
long, Conor? You're saying that like it feels weird sitting there, but you sit there every time me and you record.
Yeah, but I'm normally looking at you.
Oh, I suppose.
Yeah.
Whenever.
I'm better looking, so.
Fair enough. You have.
You know, like normally, was it twos and then three's a crowd?
Yeah. Two's company. Is it not?
Yeah,
Is
two's
that what
company,
they say?
three's crowd.
Well, it used to be back in the day whenever we run the OG kind of podcast like it.
As long as this isn't so fucking long.
No, it won't be. As long, like back in the day, it used to be Conor, obviously, when the guest would have been there, and then we would have chatted. So Conor would have started the intro. So have you got your intro prepared?
Hello.
Oh,
LSD lad.
Go on, kick in there, Conor.
alright, hold on. Well, folks, how's things? You're listening to the Agri Automotive Pod by Limited Slip Differences. Your perfect blend of cars, tractors, and everything in between. I sound like I'm dosed. Not really. I have a stuffed nose and no tissues, so we'll just have to do.
There's no worse feeling actually.
I'm Conor,
I am Michael.
I'm Adam.
Hello.
and you're listening to episode.
61.
I was actually about to ask him. What
Yeah, no,
episode are we on?
Conor literally looks at me halfway through every intro in sheer panic and is like, oh.
I don't know.
It was literally on the tip of my tongue to be like,
To be fair,
what episode are we on, Conor?
To be fair, I looked back and my last episode notes was 48.
Holy shit.
So thankfully,
I still have a few notes, but the community's become a lot handier now to kind of
it has.
bring stuff on. But I suppose this is the Silage special because we've both been at grass and
Literally, we have both. No, literally, we have all.
been at grass because
We've
you've
all
been
been
present
at
for both of them
I
too.
have.
But
So I wasn't present for the second day of Connor's.
no, that was actually quite a good day as well. To be fair,
remember.
That
what I
was
was doing.
savage crack.
that was
Can't
just
remember
you
what I was
and
doing.
Padraig. Well, we'll get on to that in a bit, but it's just you and Padraig Leonard having the crack. But kicking on before that, then I suppose it's been ages since we last recorded it to the point where I nearly actually forgot about it because we had like recorded the episode just before we did it, and that was the tractor run. So when we were at the tractor run, I was saying to the ones that like
That was the
that was the
4th.
5th of
I know
May.
that we were last recorded on the 4th, I think.
Was it the Sunday? Was it before the tractor run? I think I made it.
Well, it was Sunday morning. Aye, so Michael messaged me and said,
I've
you know,
heard that story.
we'll do the whole Sunday morning. And I was like, I
Yeah.
no bother at all.
Oh, I
And then
thought
his Sunday morning
was
is midday onwards. And I was
12.
like,
Do you know
And you were
what?
looking at land out at
A
8 o'clock in the
Sunday is
morning.
typically the
Pretty
day.
much.
Sunday's typically the day where I get above respite. So I Sunday morning for me is like normally
Not
like yeah
jealous at all.
no, but
Sundays are
Got
cars.
respite Sunday past though.
that's true.
No,
Sundays are
didn't-
car
didn't
shows
really
for me
even.
again.
I haven't actually done that many then this
You're
year.
not missing much, to be honest.
I haven't.
Dumb shit.
I
Although-
washed my car the day actually.
Which one?
I washed the old fella's car last night, and I washed the Golf, and then
Huh? Do you want to wash mine? Because
washed the. Oh,
I haven't washed mine since not Monday, the Monday before.
Did
that's
them
a lie.
O-rings come for me yet? By the way,
what?
the O-rings you ordered the other night, or did
No,
you send?
sure. They'll not be here for a couple of days. Like,
Are
That's
there no
eBay.
overnight parts from Japan?
well, if Karcher's Japanese breed.
No.
Great. Yeah, German.
I need to actually buy grease for the Karcher as well, and I think that should fix it. And if not, it's going in the fucking scrap.
She took apart a wee bit.
Aye, brand new Karcher K4. Well, I'll say brand new, 8-month old.
It was really annoying. I literally take it out to use it, do everything possible to make sure that I do nothing wrong to it.
Yeah.
It still breaks on me.
But like me with the Merlot, but anyway, that's a story for later down the line.
Ricky lad.
Back to the tractor run. I'm sure people will love me scratching my armpit in the pod.
Probably can't see it.
All they can, just
Oh,
about.
yeah, fair enough.
Tractor run was. Do you know what? It's been an incredibly weird year in terms of weather. Like the boys that would be typically going in the middle of May were all going at the end of April / start of May. So we got a good turnout. We got 60 something tractors in the end, and we raised I think the guts of $4,500.
Well, that's more so like everybody now is trying to get the fertilizer and the slurry on as early as possible.
Yeah.
And then it's getting to the stage where it was dry weather for so long that the grass, as Andrew Morton pointed out in the community, would be stressed and then would start to shoot to get a seed head up, obviously to reproduce.
But with the weather at the minute, it's been like the boy, as I say, there's quite a few people that have said, "Oh yeah, no, we're definitely becoming." But then anyone you spoke to was like, "No, we're actually for grass. We're at grass. We're baling. We're doing whatever." And it was like, well, so I'd say we lost 30% of people just off the back of that alone. I also do think a lot of people probably said, "We'll see how it goes."
Well,
go next year.
As Adrian said, like if you think about it, if you change the date of something, say 2 years in a row, it's on one date and then it's changed the next year, and then the following year.
You can't plan around
like
it.
people's not going to think it's the same run.
But is that not
so
normal for farmers when there's an event on? They're like, "We'll see how we go."
Sometimes
Because it's so variable.
Well, like
you could just one week terrible.
The thing is, a tractor run, all you need is a group of maybe 25 people or 25 mates to go to a tractor run 1 year, and they spread the word, and the next year the tractor run's absolutely rammed. And that's what happened with 5 road ends between 2012 and 2013, when they used to do it back in Resharkin. Started off in Woodland. The year beforehand it wasn't just as big. The year after it was mental. Like there was a convoy of I think 14 of us left from Tommy McFall's house.
I suppose at the end of the day too, it all depends because they're Mulligan's last year.
Mulligan's is probably the biggest and best tractor run.
I went to it, but in hindsight I shouldn't have been at it because we were flat out of Beals at home.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Sunday, isn't it?
I'll still be doing Mulligan's again this year.
It was on a Sunday, and I was like, oh, sure. But if you had 2 or 3 hours sleep, and probably just want to my bed, obviously. But I decided not to, and then went to it.
Sleeps with the week.
It was the tractor run. To be fair, there was a lot of Ryan Turner. To be fair, he had a big pull, I think, in a lot of it. He's a very, very big internet presence. His TikTok I think he's like 21,000 followers or something. His TikTok's fucking massive, but he's putting it all over Snapchat and stuff, so credit to him. I think he was probably a reason why we got a lot of that younger crowd, and I'm hoping, and them boys all seem to enjoy it, so I'm hoping if they go this year, then when they follow on.
Ryan's father came over and complimented and said how well the run it was.
But to be fair,
I was like, look, I can't really take any credit for this, and then pulled Adrian as quick as because. Well, I can't say I put much effort in there.
To be fair, though, I have to say that is one thing, and that was the same last year. As they do run a very tight ship. They do have it well coordinated. They always have. I think. Last year there was 40 something tractors. This year 60 whatever. So it's not a massive crowd, but
it's still a decent turnout.
Liam was up front and he led it, and Liam probably sat at about 21 mile an hour. I was sitting about 2,000 RPM basically for the majority of the run. So until the very end, the run didn't get broke up at all, which meant coming through Marfeld, coming through all the big towns. It was good. I was
well stewarded. I put it this way, you can't get a run to run any smoother.
No.
Maybe was it helping that the crowd was as says it was, but I suppose at the end of the day it's charity and more people the merrier.
You have to appreciate anybody that did come and give it the chance.
A good sum of money.
They left it. I think there was 3,900 or something like that left it, and ever since there's been more donations. I think it's like $4,500 at the minute. So that alone has. That's seriously that's a lot of money. And the thing about it, year and year we'll build on it, because I mean, Adrian's one of our closest friends, so it's helping him. It's a charity. It's supporting them. You see where your money goes. Like, I know, well, anyone listening doesn't see, but I've been there. I've been in committee meetings. I've been helped muck out the fort and all that there. Like, I know that the money is going into either buying like a house to get, like, you know, a wee girl in a wheelchair on the horse, or, you know, like certain different things to help kids with sensory issues and all that. Like, it really is, like,
it's stuff that people don't see.
and if people did see it, people would go like, shit, I would love to.
It's only
contribute to
whenever
that.
someone is put in a position where they need to be using or want to use that service.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
they
only-
realise how much the charity
They
means.
bring in like a big crowd from Kilronan. You know, they have respite sessions throughout the week. I've started yawning here because it's so late.
It's actually unlike me, but
I'm usually in my bed by now.
Yeah, well, we're recording fairly late. You says the man that works night shift.
I know, but I'm going on my days, so.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
We probably royally fucked this up for you.
Nah, I bury it. Thursday's usually a dead day for me.
Ah, well, fair enough. Like,
Nightmare.
Are you going into work tomorrow? Jesus, it used to be you never would have stayed out.
Yeah, I'm doing this for you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
appreciate it.
really appreciate it.
Thanks.
But yeah, so just
Remember.
to just tie up on the run. Like, yeah, look, the run was.
At least it's not 2 o'clock in the morning.
Joe, I wondered, how do you find the general public with that kind of like 60 tractors going through somewhere
I would say if you're.
isn't something to just be like, oh, it's fine.
I would say if you're in a car, you're probably like, what a bunch of cunts.
Well, I've never
Not
been
really, no,
in
not
a
with
tractor
60.
run, but I've obviously seen them. But like, I like tractors, so I don't mind. Like, I'll pull over and watch them go past. Like, it doesn't
See,
bother
see
me.
if anybody had the opportunity to pull across, they did. To be fair,
Yeah.
like,
Fair enough. Let the traffic go.
like, we'll put it this way. Yes, I suppose there was 60 or 60 to 70. So it's a nuisance, but not much of a nuisance.
Yeah, most people wouldn't
If
be
there
like,
was
oh,
three-
it's for charity.
If it was 300, to be like,
But when you,
Yeah.
when you're going through a town, and everybody's waving, and everybody's like, you know, that there's something class with that, and you're going by and you see a wee cub age 3 and he's waving at every tractor going by, like, you know, it's stuff like that. You nearly like, you know, and it was a bank holiday Monday, like it was
Yeah,
about
it was
the 5th of
quiet.
May, like. Truthfully, unless it's an emergency service or you're going to a wedding or something,
Yeah.
like, where does anybody really have to be on a bank holiday? You know, now
True.
I know there's people who don't who work it, and maybe
Yeah.
they're heading to meetings and they're like, you know, if you're on the road and oh my god,
it's not like as if you're at the port on Easter Sunday where you can't get to work.
Oh, well, we were sitting on Easter Sunday in one of the cafes just across the road from Barry's or Curry's, whatever you want to call it, and there was an ambulance trying to get through.
yeah.
And you're just sitting there going,
Well, it was
there's
actually
nowhere to go, but
it was
people were
the-
trying their hardest to move out of the way.
It
But
was
like,
the police van at lost that burnt out the clutch
Oh,
that
wow.
actually held that up, but I know
oh, I
that's,
forgot about
that's
that.
neither
Have
here
you
nor
seen
there.
their Bearcat, by the way? Random side topic. Have you seen the PSNI's Bearcat?
What's a Bearcat?
What's that?
Armoured truck. Like twice the size of a Land Rover.
Ah, I seen it today.
It is unbelievable looking.
Is it black?
Yeah.
yeah. Pretty
It's
sure-
actually really intimidating.
Was that the one that was at the port?
I didn't see it at the port. But I was coming out of Belfast there a couple of weeks ago when it drove
Pretty
past me on the other
sure
side of
I've
the road,
seen
and I
it.
was just like, "What is that?"
Pretty sure there's a news clipping about something that happened. like a
It's for like hostages or something.
Banger?
no,
No, that was our
Larne.
response.
Oh.
Oh, that explains it.
I'm down at the port, as in Larne Port. Sorry.
Oh, right.
Like, yeah, which would make sense for like
Yeah.
hostages or something like along the lines of that. But yeah, so to round off with the tractor run, to be fair, I have to give a shout out to the lads. Did you see this, Connor? We were coming, the first time I seen it, we were coming out of Moneymore heading towards Desert Martin.
The 307.
The 307 or 308 maybe.
Possibly a 308.
It was Damien McCourt, Ewan Brown, and Adam Caskey, and they had the LSD banner tied to like a CB
Fuck,
area.
I know, yes, that was
That-
cool.
Jesus,
they
that
they said
made-
the Fiat, and then I was just like, hey, it's me, and then they're like, oh, hello.
That made my heart like leap. I was like, "Fucking hell, that's class!"
All
like,
you
I
heard
felt-
me saying when CB was, Michael, you've just dented your sunroof, your head's got that
my
big.
head was starting to actually mould out through.
Oh,
my
your
sunroof.
ego was.
And then
big on this.
they done it again. Then as we were coming under the fly over in Maharat, who so a
Well, we
fair
flew under the flyover.
so fair play to them lads. That was a fucking class act. Like I was very.
You seem like you've had a stressful day, obviously, and
Yes, I have.
Now you've came to, you've chilled out, and you're just like, blah, blah, blah.
Brain fart.
Because the last time I did this year, we were talking about small shows, not there.
Small
And I was
shows?
Like, aye, like small, smaller shows, not like Dubship, but like
Oh, right,
Springfest and
okay,
that.
That was episode 7. That's like literally.
The last time, and he had told me, fuck, he was like, sure, they can't have an airport near mountains and all. And I was like, why? And he was like, oh, they hit stuff. And I was like, so what happens in Belfast then?
City Airport. There's
then
actually
you're
a
like-
bit
Have you never watched like the world's deadliest airport?
No, I've also been in Chambray, which is like where you fly if you're going skiing in Valty, which is literally in the middle between two mountains. Michael has done that on that day.
No, that doesn't sound appealing to me.
No. But you don't like flying?
No, I don't. I hate flying. I haven't been on a
I
plane.
really enjoyed it.
Since I was
But
like 15.
Ryanair.
Ryanair's
Wow.
Ryanair's
I
questionable.
tell you one thing, it's as if he had overshot himself and he was like, "Jeez, boys, I have to pull this up," because everybody went.
I know. I had apparently, well, you believe it or not, tinfoil hat on. Apparently, Ryanair planes hit the ground harder than a plane on average, because if they hit it harder, it takes more momentum out, so they don't have to be on the brakes as much. Not that I would have thought
That wouldn't
brakes
surprise me in the
would have
slightest.
worked on a
Normally,
plane
EasyJet
anyway.
light themselves up and take off. Ryanair, fuck it, lads.
But I don't understand,
put the
because
toe on.
surely there isn't really any
See if
real
they
brakes
see
in,
Oh, there is,
in the wheels.
Oh, wow.
Is
Yeah,
there?
of course.
Oh,
What the fuck? Obviously,
There's
they
a lot
have
of
their wing.
reverse thrust
I'd
going
have
on.
thought,
and-
I thought the reverse thrust and
but no,
the
there's
wings
brakes
floating
and
up would have been the
landing
main
gears.
thing.
And that,
But apparently they do that to save out.
Like, whilst I had some time in the airport, at the weekend there, in the evening time, before I flew home,
Yeah.
I was like looking up airplane tires and being like, oh, they're filled with nitrogen.
My
I did that once in the Leon. Don't ask me why.
Why
It was a
did
waste.
you fill
It
it?
was a waste of a tenner. Thanks, Care's Tires. I was young and like, okay.
impressionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made no difference, especially to a
Drove
1.9.
it fucking oxygen.
1.9 TDI Leon racy.
Yeah, but back then you'd have went, I can really feel the difference. Now you're sitting
Somewhere
looking
there
at
in the polo.
Things like she was laughed at the time.
again,
either.
you're sitting looking at it going like, what was I thinking?
I
Like,
think it was such a waste of a tenner.
But you have
so
to do
yeah,
these things, yeah.
tractor runs.
Tractor run was an absolute success. It's great that they raised over $4,000 for it.
Cannot wait to get back to it again next year.
And all going well, it can just grow and get bigger and better.
That's
What?
what.
I can drive tractors now. I could take one. I can steal one next
yeah,
year.
you could. To be fair, you can drink my fit.
Why would you not drive a Fiat?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind maybe
He's a
take.
crabbit bastard after 3 or
Oh,
4 years in it,
okay.
though.
Oh, so he has to make me suffer
I
now?
don't know if I took. I'd like to take Donald's T7 to be quite honest, and that means another
Oh.
tractor to bring to this.
Sweet, I just get the rip gears in yours then.
Yeah.
Like I've done all
You
night.
don't have a case? Or did you buy a T7?
No, it's T7 210.
Alright. Should have bought them.
Which after today, to be fair, it might not let me borrow anything anymore. But we get on to that in a wee bit yet.
Michael, to be fair, I never actually asked this question before, but see if the Sierra did break, where would you
Again.
get bits for it?
CDM Sport.
CDM Sport?
Yeah. So if I needed a turbo, because that can happen, I would go to Conor at CDM Sport. If I need a clutch, radiator, pretty much anything, suspension parts, whatever. Basically any drift spares at all.
So what you're saying is it's a one-stop shop for engine swap cars and for the odd bits and bobs that you need.
Absolutely. I just wish that Conor's shop was available 7 years ago when I started building all this stuff. So CDM Sport has kindly taken on the podcast as a sponsor, and in fairness, he has been very helpful with me even in recent times. I do think that it's a worthwhile business to go and see what Conor can do for you.
So everyone, get on to cdmsport.life for all your motor needs.
Your silage.
Yes, my silage. So
Your silage was actually class crack this year.
I'll tell you one
was
thing,
good.
right?
I enjoyed
So obviously this man has work and other commitments and other priorities. But so I was like, look, I'll keep him as updated as possible. But this was changing, the way you were saying, like the tractor run, everything was going on, farming changes day by day. So it got to say the Sunday, it was like, right, so not the following Sunday but the Monday and Tuesday after that, we'll mow and we'll put the silage in then I get home from the tractor run on the Monday. Not at all sure I'll be in by this weekend.
Aye.
And I'm like, what?
Because I was originally because I was going to Bradford, which was last week, to site, and I was like, fuck's sake, like I'm heading out the 12th. Like if I go out, I'll miss the silage.
Yes.
So I was praying that I wouldn't miss the grass.
So then when I heard all this, I messaged Michael at the time. So last row of cows in the parlour, I was messaging him. I was like, fuck me, the old fella's changed his mind. He's going to probably do it being by this weekend. You were like, happy days, but then you're like, oh, big family event was on at the weekend, or that weekend anyway, and you're like, right, hopefully it's this, that and the other. But at the time he was like, oh, should I message Rory and get him sort of half pre-booked? And I was like, yes, obviously. Let him know so he's not like one Sunday after saying a lot of prayers I was like, oh, where's the green trailer at? He's like, huh? And I was like, oh, sure, you're lifting our grass in the morning. I was like, first I've heard about this. But anyway, so
has that happened before?
yes.
Alright. It's because your dad's so fucking haphazard.
His brother unfortunately passed away whenever he was in his 20s. I think he was 20.
Rory's brother's anniversary not around the same time as my dad's.
Could be, I'm
I think
unsure.
they're very similar times.
So
that was Kevin, wasn't it? You called him. I was at that week. Very sad.
He's buried not far away from my mother, so you could say he was paying his,
Yeah.
and that's whenever I said it. But anyway, so I had messaged you anyway, and then Phil was like, "What'd you tell him?" And I was like, "Oh, so I have got permission now, basically, to send a message." So I was like, "Oh, how long?" And then a message where I was like, "Oh, look, keep us in mind for this weekend. Things about the grass in." And then we fast forward, I suppose. Just see in regards to farm, like, doesn't matter. You could have 3 or 4 months of things going sort of your way, nothing too bad going wrong, and then within a week you're tortured.
Yeah.
So that week was totally tortured with things going wrong. So we mowed on the Thursday, and I kept on saying, look, because of how good the weather's been, there is not as much being mowed, so basically the crop not as big as what it has been.
The difference in your first cut this year compared to last year is unbelievable.
Like, he had to get the unbelievable in, didn't he? So, anyways, 3 weeks early. At least 3 weeks early.
Yeah,
So,
you cut the 23rd last year, and that was early.
That was early, aye.
And it was the 29th the year before that.
How do you remember that?
26th?
26th, aye.
Was
so
it?
it was always mow around the 26th, 25th, 26th, and then put it in the 27th.
Yeah, you're right.
But, so I got to Thursday, I was mowed down, and then it was sort of the Friday morning, I was like, or the Thursday, I was like, ted it all out, and then get it rolled up. Friday,
I still don't know why you ted it, to be quite honest.
Why?
I still don't
Dries
know.
it?
I know it dries. I'm sure it was like hay going under the trailers.
It actually wasn't. As soon as you left at the top of the sward, or the top over the 50-foot sward, it was just nice below it. Believe me, like
Really?
it was. See, whenever you see it in the pit, you're like, that's definitely.
See, to be
green,
honest,
that's
I'd have
definitely
been
green
lifting up behind the back of the mower if it was me, like we were.
Aye, but you're just causing effluent. Like,
well.
Anyway, so
Sort of half joking.
you left tractor down Thursday evening, and
That was the
Friday
siege.
it was.
Got to fix my back door.
Yes.
Yes.
Couldn't understand why it wouldn't fucking open. Needed to adjust it.
/ open late. It does
Wyman?
open. It would have opened eventually. It needs the weight of the grass behind it to open it.
Which it shouldn't really do.
No, it's not any like.
But Friday, I think it was 2 or 3 o'clock, and
I
obviously
landed
we
out
went
here like 8, or not 8. I landed out here about 2 o'clock. Like I got a half day in work.
and we went up, and don't know how deadly a job it'll be, but watching Farm Theory and that on YouTube, he was on about EcoCell, the additive for silage,
right.
and I was like, if we're cutting early, probably help the ferment the silage and all that crack. So we ended up
Why do
getting
you need the additive, really, though? Some people.
help fermentation. Everyone's about helping as quick as you can get the grass to have a good fermentation.
Surely,
It'll-
first cut, you shouldn't really be worrying about it.
No,
Like
anything-
third cut, I would think so, because the third cut's probably going to be the worst quality, I'd imagine. So that's when you're
Not necessarily, no.
So
it's all
my-
to do with the stage it's cut at.
Do you feel like the
Well,
third one you would need that boost?
Last thing in the third one, normally people open the third cut first because for the pits, it just depends. Like, but normally that's the one I'm like, oh, get that done. So then in 5 weeks' time, 6 weeks' time, you can nearly be opening it.
Pretty much it leaves it that it'll ferment better. Your grass sugars, if I'm correct, will go into like lactic acids and that.
Say, for example, for me, in a couple of years' time, moving into a pit, I plan on putting everything on one pit.
Aye.
First, second, third cut.
Ideally, you'd like long and not that steep,
Yeah.
and then put the next on top of it, so you can take like a dolly mixture grab out of it. So you can put a bit of third with a bit of second with a bit of first.
Can you buck rake?
I've dabbled
I have you lined up to do that.
in that heap.
It won't be a heap
Don't you
by
speak
then.
ill of Mary?
He just thinks there's something about Mary.
There is something about Mary.
I've
She's
actually
fucking
never
great.
been in Mary.
I'll show you after if you want.
It's too late. Next time.
He
It'll
always
all be
does
a
this,
next
and then by the time it was like bad.
Yeah, just
bad.
bad.
Yeah.
But so anyway,
At
Friday
least you can stop now.
we get
At least you can stop on her now.
true.
You're
Yes,
just putting your feet
before
right
it
on the
was-
floor, just trying to stop.
For his fucking death trap, but anyway.
So we can start at Friday about 5 o'clock anyway, and Padraig landed up. Adam, you were there, and Matthew was
That
also
was
there
some
too.
drive for him, to be fair.
Was 3 hours from us
Fair play
coming.
to
Like.
him.
Yeah, but
He was
then
good crack.
he works for Monk, so Sam
I
Monk.
know you were
He's
saying,
like,
like,
that's
that's nothing
not
to
fun.
That's nothing
Well,
for
3
him.
hours
like.
to me, he's like,
Yeah.
3 hours, like, I
Like-
drove 3 hours there last weekend.
He would send me a Snapchat of him on a, like, just in a JCB, and he'd be like, just another 25-hour drive to wherever. And it's like, fucking hell. Or he sends you a map, and it's like, just going here, and it's like 342 kilometres. You're just like,
Right?
It's the route probably as well makes a difference too.
within reason, but some of the places they're going over is probably absolute shite too. Like,
Probably.
I would
But
love to go out there.
to sort of speed it up. So I took a load of grass down the road, went milk cows, whilst Adam Matthew done videography. He just
Yes.
did some job. It was cool as fuck. Like
Yeah,
it was
there was
like
some serious good
grass
footage.
man cool.
I was just bouncing Matthew around the back of the, back of the pickup.
Do you want to trade your golf art for an Amarok now?
I would happily have an Amarok.
Do you know
I'm not
what?
even, I wouldn't. I'd probably have both.
Fuck right, okay.
I mean, the
just doesn't-
Amarok has some power on it, but like, that golf's different.
Did you actually plant the Amarok at any point?
I did a wee bit because I had to show Matthew. Because he was like, "Oh, is it mapped?" And I was like, "Yep."
Oh, I know she's
Oh, sure.
she's well doctored.
I mean, there was a couple of times I was going across the field, and I was going. I might be going a little bit too fast.
she will kick sideways in the field, no bother.
I think I did drift it at one point, but it was completely accidental.
And when the dew sits in the grass at night time,
Aye,
she
she
will
got
she
stuck.
will go sideways.
But I
She
think
will go
there was a
round.
video. There was a video of you coming back in the field, and you're pinned, and the John Deere behind you is screaming past you, and I think I was driving along going, I might be going a little bit too fast in this Amarok across a rough field,
No,
especially when it's not my Amarok.
True.
When it
Well,
was mine, it would have been through a hedge. Like,
to be fair, that John Deere's overtaking him does 35 mile an
oh,
hour.
it left you sitting.
That's
It just.
Well,
Oh, wait,
he
Matthew
does.
didn't know what to
he
focus
can do
on.
22
I
mile
know
an hour. at the minute.
Aidan was driving the 6930, and like sure, it was 35 versus the other, and I was just like,
You were blapping it.
all I can say is I could never get onto the Fiat.
Yeah, because I've never seen you as
until so I sat in with Padraig.
okay.
And what I've learned is, right, so sat in and sort of half watched him do a load. And what I could say about myself was, I was nearly like trying too hard,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And watched him, he's just like, it's a manual tractor,
Yeah.
take your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And so anyway, he was.
So what were you trying to do? Like trying to be too rash with gear changes and stuff like that, or what?
No, I was trying to be too fast and all that, and it just
Oh
wasn't
no,
working
you
out.
can't do
But
that on a tractor.
I've now found that, like, well, personally, so the way things worked out, I was always having to do something or jump out or help out or some mad shape or form. So we'll go, like, say fast forward to for myself to the Saturday whenever we were drawn in. Like, I was finding going up the gears, say changing about 1700, took the gear no baller, everyone up to the odd time it changed from second to fifth because third and fifth is very close together whenever you're not that used to it.
Aye, where's
I know you go.
I feel like that's new information to him because his face reaction was
Aye,
always
but
like,
if you ever watch me drive the likes of a Ford 7810 or a 48210 where it's first, second, third, like have you driven 7810 or an 8210? Like where I'm going for third is like, and then you're like, oh for fuck,
nah, it's over.
you know, it's again completely different, but
And then I always found coming down the gears was harder, like, you know.
you have to blip to let her.
But
Yeah, I
it
found that
works
tonight.
out, lay it off your throttle, brake a wee bit, and at 1500 RPM, a quick blip into fourth, no bother at all.
But that's
And then it let her calm down to 1500 again while you're sort of rolling.
Yeah.
She'll go take third set, no bother at all. So
but if you watch me, you would see me doing that too.
it was the fact that every gear change has to have a blip, whereas Padraig, it didn't. He was like,
Well, you are Mr.
like,
Blippy.
you know, it's grand for like
I
5
wouldn't-
minutes, and then he just didn't give a fuck.
I wouldn't necessarily blip every year. It just depends. Like if you're fucking about or whatever.
The throttle response in that tractor
It's just
is like a Type R.
It's
It's
there's
fucking-
and she's
I don't
tires.
know
She's
what-
turbos one on her. Like
So
Malone and Ewan Smith actually were at her one night and done a couple of wee bits and pieces, and it's been better since then.
like she
She was slack before that. Now she's like
Like-
you can do whatever.
in the TikToks, not the video of the tractor and the wee lane. That was me and all
the
your.
lane coming into your house
Oh,
and the
I
lane
would
going
say
into
no,
the field.
the
The
end of
lane
the
going into
field.
the field.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would say the majority of the videos of my tractor are you driving them.
No.
No.
Only the 2 darker bits.
Aye, they're
I was
fun.
raging that they cut off the bit for in Pat close shoes whenever we were going across the field, and you were videoing the thing. You heard me going down the gears. I was going down to second to then go up through
Oh,
the
is
gears
that,
for the
is that
crack
the
of it.
pure sound video? Or is that
No.
You
Pure
got me
sounds
doing
me.
the blip down to second.
No, there's a video with him in it. There's a
Alright,
couple of videos
because
with him.
there's the pure sound video you have of me where it's just the big long run coming off Thorntons, and you diverted off as I was heading for the gate.
Yes, and you wanted me to keep going.
Yeah, because I got a video of Conor last year coming from the bottom of the field up, and I was like, this is the video you want, because I'm
Yeah.
coming from the bottom of the field, more or less the same spot, again, straight up, and I was like, this is the video, but then you diverted off, and I was like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah, we never got back to it, kind of.
did you see Rory done to Padraig what he done to you?
Yes.
That was so funny.
That's why I didn't stand in between it, because I knew he was going to do it.
But surprisingly, he didn't do it to me when I done the video standing in between these.
That's because you would go and fucking start describing why you would do that and how you would do that and all
No,
that.
I think it's because that field stones in and I didn't want to split my skull open.
Well, that's the other thing too.
I spent a lot of time in your tractor.
Before you get on just that, I'd have forgotten a pile of stuff. But so in the Saturday morning, the wee tractor was on the root brush, and so
I know
anyway.
what you're going to say.
And then the big tractor, look, the uncle said, look, do you mind, the old fella, do you mind if I go and take dump driller and get a poke of sand for doing whatever? But then the older brother, he goes, sure, look, take a bigger tractor, more comfortable, for he's going to take the wee one. And then the wee one, and Jared conveniently left the trailer off at a shit spot, which was good for me in a sense, because I had to
Okay.
move it. And whenever I had it done, I went, fuck it, you only live once, like, and took her up with a wee tractor or the baby one, like. And everybody on about, like, she's so uncomfortable, this, that, and the other. And that thing fucking blew me away. Because, yes,
I agree.
I don't
I
care
agree.
what anybody says, she's only really 100 horsepower.
Yeah, she's
She
only
is
100 horsepower,
dead
probably
as
a boost.
Fuck. She was dead as fucking tanker.
She was grand for me
because
earlier.
there may have been a lack of tanker brakes on the tanker, so you were relying on her, so you couldn't go that hard on her. But took her up to the field. I was like, this isn't actually too bad. It's comfy enough. Like, she's a short wheelbase tractor, so she's going to be bouncy, as you found out this evening.
Yeah.
But then got the load on, and I was like, fuck you, doll, you're actually handling this quite well.
But then how light was that grass, in fairness?
It
That
was
was,
no, it was not light.
you think not?
Oh, no. Again, like, was it 2 years? The first year we had the 6-7. Going up Cargan Hill with Art Lone Grass.
Yes.
She climbed the gears like she was 200 horse. I got up to 4B and she didn't want to go any. She couldn't go anymore.
Really?
Oh, like, it was still a bit of damp in it, like.
I got up top gear this year. Normally I couldn't go more
I
than
mean, you have a
height.
wheelbarrow.
Aye, but the same trailer as the year beforehand. You couldn't go more than, or even with Bales at a similar size.
Aye, but Beals, to be fair though, every one of them is about a ton.
Yeah, Bales you couldn't go above height
You had
third.
about 10 ton on behind.
No bother. She'd fifth. She'd do it. No bother. I was surprised to go for it.
But it's funny. I filled the load and got down anyway and got her tipped. She is the dual pump, so we had a button in her
Yeah.
and she literally puts it up as quick as the big one does. You wouldn't have knew that she had a dual pump.
No,
So she would have been taking forever.
it
Anyway.
wasn't too bad, but
And then I was kind of worried because she is so light compared to the big one that she maybe put the fucking tyres
Yeah.
up, so I made sure to have 4-wheel drive on and just drive forward to allow the shunt of the grass.
if you say
See-
so, aye.
See, you don't think about that, but
No.
because she's so fucking short, That's all I can think about.
You would have known when driving her, like, I thought.
Did you find with a full load of grass on that she was a bit like this here in the road?
A wee bit, but like, I mean, I drive something that literally you're steering like soup anyway. So.
Aye, but the 110's heavier than her. Like.
I actually got onto your steering better. I know I only
the
did I drove yours once.
Is much more comfortable going across that ground than it is in your wee tractor.
I got onto your steering better than your steering.
I
see when I tipped the load and was going out for the second one that it parked the tractor and chiller up. Well, fuck, I couldn't care less about today. I just jumped on Rory for a while.
Because that's where
she gained 20 horse. It's funny, whatever way a Massey works, the first load she'll feel deader than what she normally does. So whenever I went out the lane, she was
is
going
she
out.
learning? Does like the gearbox learn?
As weird as this sounds, it nearly feels like the tractor
feels it's under load and goes, okay, I'll give you a wee bit more.
It's like learning that, we're actually going to have a bit of struggle here. So
weirdly,
sometimes
maybe it's because she's got heat under herself.
I think so. So whenever we got to the field and I landed up on the 110 with Padraig as well, and I just said to Padraig, I go, seen your tractor sitting, and we were going down till, was it the Tulloch?
Tulloch, yes.
Tulloch, aye. And
it's not the Tulloch, it's just Tulloch.
Tulloch, we were going.
It's like
is that the one that had the railway line through it? Or is that McGuire's?
No, Packlocious is the railway line run along. You know the big long stretch of it?
Yes.
The other side of that hedge is the railway still there.
Oh, is it?
Oh, it's just a big long pathway now.
Bring it back. We landed up.
You came in on the tractor and I was like, Terry way, boss, just watch it because Shelley's underpowered.
I was just waiting to see what you would say. And then I was like, he's not going to tell me to get out of this. And then I pulled up alongside, and only, like, my first time property driving your wee tractor was a couple of nights previous with the bailey on. So I was like, right, well, I sort of know how to drive this now at least. And I was like, I'll just take her easy. But it was one of them things where it was awkward. You couldn't really fit left in 4A because she would struggle. So you nearly had to, but Rory was going along that hard. You had to be in, because if he stopped, you wouldn't have been able to get down the gears enough. So I was going along in 3D, but she was nearly
revving ahead of her. Oh, that's the same with the big one, like.
It is. And I was like, right, okay, look, my man. I was like, do you know what? Like, send her on. Come out the bottom of the hill to go up McGuire's Hill, and just went right. I was like, probably going to have to start this in 3A.
So I would have started in 3A.
Came out, and then 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D, and I was like,
was she revving ahead of herself 3D?
No.
she's 100 horse.
Aye, look, for what she was,
all I heard from, so I goes to Daddy whenever that evening. I was like, that wee tractor is the fucking rod when you get on there. And this is all I got back. That wasn't what that Scully boy said. And I was like,
she was like, but she is dead compared to like the 6.7 or the 110.
I found out the map to 140.
Get it done. But that being said, like,
if that was 140.
I'll tell you one thing. With my tractor, with the big load on behind, the 14-ton trailer on behind, like from a couple of years ago, 110 horses as well. Should have been high third. But I was shitting myself driving her for the first while. I was like, but maybe that's because like the brakes wouldn't be as good and stuff like that there. But I was shitting myself. I was like, oh no, this is scary. Your wee tractor jumped in and just went, let's see what she'll do. You know, maybe it's the creature comforts or the fact you don't hear as much or she's not as noisy. But you're just like, nah, whatever, just going ahead.
Oh, was it because it wasn't yours?
Oh no, normally because it's not mine would mean it's worse. But then I got back. I'll tell you where I thought she struggled the worst was that hill up to your house. That's a gradual incline from the Cargan Road.
What did you take that though?
4B.
Oh, you see, go to 4A and that.
Right, fair enough. I was trying
if you went to 4A, she'd have took 4B, and then she'd probably have been horror.
But like to be fair, she was fine.
No weights running in the front of her too.
No, when I got the load tipped and then jumped the 6.7, I went right. I'm not going.
Because I got a phone call. Where the fuck are you at with that tractor? And I was like, I'm sitting in here with Rory. Michael's bringing her down the road now. But I don't know. It's maybe whenever you get older, but the care about driving. I was there for
about actually doing it.
See, whenever it's constant good weather for a lot of days, they're putting it in at their own pace.
Once you get to that third load after that, you're just like, okay,
the fun's gone.
I never sat beside Rory in the harvester, sat beside him for like 2 files.
But you'd Padraig there this year as well, and the thing that helped as well, Padraig's fucking operator. Like,
Well, all I can say is, like, it was more the fact of my father has not got a clue who you are.
yeah,
It's more the fact of, you know, he could drive circles around me, and I found
drive
that with the Fiat,
circles around the both of us. Like,
to be fair, he actually complimented me in my reversing. I was like, wow, if it's coming out from you, then fair play.
I never got a compliment on that. So.
You near crashing the fucking buck rake all the same.
And also, yeah,
First I've heard of that story.
the bog rake.
I was taking a video, and he just like, I assumed you were taking a video I could tear away, and I was like, no, you'd never think that.
Well, that's what I thought. I was like, and actually, what I thought was the way Rory was at. I was like, Rory's in this side, so maybe he's still on the pat.
Oh, you're talking about Heaney at this point?
Sorry, Heaney. No, sorry, Heaney. I was like, Heaney's on this side, so he's probably maybe going to stay up there. I'll just come on reverse, and then he can come and do whatever. Because it was like,
I always wait till they do the tit, you know, when they end up making
well, that's what I should have done as well. But
That was me starting to yawn there.
as I say, you were out with the camera, and I just went, oh fuck, I must be alright then. So,
I will tell you one thing, the Fiat is savage fun to drive, and when you do get onto her, like, I was maybe driving her up to the Fiat at a point, Padraig drove her home with the load, then he drove her up,
and then you drove home with the load.
and I drove home with the load. Like, me and him just at the
Back and
crack
forth.
for a couple of hours, and then you were like, can I have my tractor back?
Did I?
This is you, so
I only got the track.
see whenever you get home, go on, wait for Becca's coming. I was like, I no bother at all. So I waited at the house. Come on out here to the road, and I was like, how's Becca going again? And then he just, before that he had said it, come on out, blah blah blah. Got out to the road, he's like, fuck, how's Becca going again? I'm like, you're a fucking tit.
Yeah. The only reason I wanted to give the tractor back at all was because we were going to do the podcast, which you'll now hear in a bit. And it was, I just wanted to be in my tractor for it. Other than that, like, as I said, like, normally every other time I'd be driving like a tractor, someone else's tractor, with a trailer that I don't really know much about, and I'd be like shitting myself. I was driving down your road just going, yeah, happy out. Like,
That's whenever you're at your best, and whenever you're just chills.
100%.
You
And
know.
I was like, I'll figure out, this is probably the best thing, because I always said I'd struggle to drive your tractor, both of them. But like,
Now
as
you
I-
got a couple of loads in the
as I done that-
do you rate her?
Oh, I like the 6.7, to be fair. It still takes 3 working weeks to go between ranges, but
That's just the solenoids. It's
That's
just,
just
a
massive.
dyna thing. So
yeah.
supposedly I've been told
Nah.
that's the solenoids. But
I agree.
you can work it. You can
No
blip
idea.
between 3D and 4A.
See, I'm
once
just-
you get on to it,
I
after
just
a
wouldn't
while.
be on. I wouldn't be onto that yet. But like, as I say, I nearly needed just the time to fuck about on it my own. Same as Adam today there in the Bales. Like, I chucked him on the 110.
Oh, you
went-
chucked me on the deep end too.
I was like, go at your own pace. Just go slow. Stay in high third or stay in high. Just easy in the clutch. Do whatever. Like, same as your tractor. It was like, okay, don't start ever in 4A. They don't seem to like it starting in the high. Maybe with nothing on behind, you'll start in 4A, but
like
even at
empty
that,
trailer 4A, but you're holding the clutch till
aye,
she
so she
gets
starts to
going.
bite a wee bit. Aye, so I was flicking her down maybe 3C and then going for it. To be fair, once you get onto it, like I was happy out.
You're like comfort.
I did like the comfort. I'm not gonna lie. I did say it to myself. I was like, do you know what? I was like, and I met you. Like, and every time I started meeting you, you were like swapped around, and I was like, do you know what? Like, I let them tear away. I've never seen you want to drive the 110 as much. Even there the night, you know.
but it's because you got into it.
No,
Like, you learned that.
I've got
way
the
of
grips
being
with
with
it, like, because you'll find there's a bit of a PTO shaft now at the front now, like everything fell down from around the dash. It's basically right. I've got on to the gearbox, I'd say, bravely, and I went over that fitted flat out, and I
not a
jumped
good
out
idea.
of the fucking seat, and everything went fucking everywhere.
Excuse me.
You nearly would have went out the sunroof, like.
I landed in your lap earlier.
Yeah, that's right.
Apparently your steering column also pulls out whenever you hold on to it.
It does.
But I can appreciate now why everybody says 110s are fun to drive. Turboed, even more fun.
But could you sit in it all day, every day?
With an air seat, yes.
Well, okay, yeah,
That
fair
thing
enough.
slams down
If
hard.
you had aircon as well, I think if I put the aircon, put a new aircon pump on her.
Don't even bother.
No,
You don't need to with a sunroof. It's more the fact you let it off and then you get brrrr, brrrr. That
It
was
would be
literally-
nice if she pulled. Not gonna lie, that was one thing.
She's that happy in the throttle that whatever you are, like I found you do like a wee blip. Whereas I
She
was
does that.
fucking, like, and then
I like
he
that.
watched me there this evening. He's like, "Geez, you're well rash," not thinking it's like.
I mean, you're used to being on a tractor. You're used to throwing gears about and wherever. Like,
But
whereas
the way I drive, it's very different. I do big lazy gear changes. Like I would go second change sort of blip, and then wait till I can feel her. Because I would wait, because there's no, if you change her too early, she'll either jump on you or
I found that out.
she'll either jump on you or you could end up juddering her if you mistime it.
Yeah.
Like if she ends up lagging,
Yeah.
she'll judder. She would have done that with no turbo as well. So you're trying to just find it, and I can sort of tell the sweet spot where I'm like, okay, if I bang second or go for third now, that's where she's gonna be grand. I just sort of know that from driving it.
Yeah.
But like, don't get me wrong, I drive that thing, I might jump on her for another maybe a month, and you're back to square one for the first load driving her, like. But
Then it just comes back to you.
but it was good. I have to say the grass at yours was good crack this year.
Oh, most certainly. Sure, I had never met Padraig before, and
He's a good out skin, like he's a good cop.
here after CDM, he stayed whenever you had a head on. He stayed back, and you know, obviously some of the reseeded ground, there was a wee bit here and a wee bit there that couldn't be lifted, and fucking ended up being a wee single axle trailer load. And he was up compacting it and all for us.
Aye.
No, like, massive thanks to him for that. Like, he didn't need to be standing
He
out for that.
he was actually supposed to be keen out with us, but he's actually way back to Australia now anyway.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So he reckons he'll try and get home for longer next year. So I'm going to cut probably earlier next year because I have a big game plan. So he'll be about for my first cut next year, and hopefully I have fucking auxiliary spools in Mary. Because fuck that for a carry on the night. Can we get into it? Or is there anything more
I
you
feel
want
like
to say
I'm
about
going to get a
yours?
job next year.
I'm not going to lie, sir.
You-
Fair fucks to you, you're good. No,
You're
but you.
but you're steady. That's the thing. You're
It's 'cause
steady.
I'm, excuse my French, shitting myself.
Aye, but like the amount of ones that would jump in there, miss time, or maybe fucking try and change and do a money shift from fifth to third or something like that.
I think when you're at one point, I thought I was in fourth or something.
Okay, but that's easy.
But
though,
that's
like.
lie. But I mean, I stalled yours earlier, but that's because I was panicking because I was rolling towards a wall.
You forgot to use the
I
clutch as well.
forgot the clutch, and I was.
You know.
But then again, I drive an automatic and have done for years now.
But,
But then I saw a wall, and I was like, "These brakes aren't doing
I think
what I
that's
want
why
them to do."
I
I'm panicked.
struggle with the first bit of driving with my tractors because the Amarok's automatic and the bore, although the bore's
Sure, I
not.
drove here fucking with the chiller on to leave it home there the other day with the fucking arms up. And she was pumping the whole time.
Yeah.
Every time I jump in his tractor, there's something fucking wrong.
It's alright, the karma just transferred over to me for I fucked up the murder the night, I think, so. Well, I say I fucked it up. I don't know if I fucked up or not. She's needed an injector pump for I don't know how long. Like,
She's D-turbo owners would be
she's
very
D-turbo
would want
and
her.
she's got a bit of fuel going to
Take that
her.
round the
and
felt, lad. She needs to make the lap round the felt.
And she looks like the Vatican whenever she's a needle, like with the white smoke billowing out of her.
Was that maybe because the turbo's fucked on her?
I don't know if it's the turbo or
But
if it's,
she was still going.
she's dead. She's
Well,
there's no power.
I have hydraulic you meet any incline at all in the start because it's hydraulically driven.
Oh, as soon as on the way back there, as soon as you were going up the hill, it was just right central.
But she wouldn't have been like that when I was driving her home yesterday. She took the hill like a champ and didn't lift the hand.
Because she
What?
wasn't warm.
I've lost
She
a few
won't.
years of my life now. Being behind that.
Well, I let her warm
I had
up
to
a bit.
turn the fan off in my car because it was just coming
So
straight in.
this is the first year I've taken back the big field there, one of the big fields behind me, and
How do you feel?
I went out and took a picture of it this morning. I'm not gonna lie, I felt like an absolute king because like it's always been them wee three small footery fields,
Yeah.
and it's kind of one of them things where like Darren Mullen has like always been very good to me. Like there's one year, like we were laughing about this today, like there was one year Darren came out and it was only the wee triangle field across the road, which is 0.7 of an acre, and Darren came and mowed it. I can't mind if he raked it, I don't think he raked it, but he mowed it and then he baled it, and I think we got like 5 bales, you know. And he said, look, fair's fair. He charged me for the acre and he charged me for the bales. He didn't, like, if he had lumped on and said, look, to make it worth my time, you know, I'd need an extra 100 quid on top of that, I wouldn't have.
Nobody does that but Michael.
But everyone else
But
just
no, but nobody does that.
no,
Like,
because everybody else just
you
ignores
have to think of
It's not worth their time.
You have to think about, like, I could have half an acre that the cows are just going to shit on, and I end up mowing it and baling it. There's only 3 bales on it.
Aye, but you are given custom, like for instance to Conor McLaren, who, by the way, Conor McLaren's not happy with you, from your comments in the last podcast, giving off his bales.
Is he not?
I sent me a Snapchat. He goes, that was a well-rounded bale there, and I goes, don't worry, I've got your side. Yeah, he heard.
No, I'm sure I was chatting to him, dude.
Yeah, no, he was waiting.
No, I was telling him
Did
they
you
were
say
too
it to
good.
his face?
No,
he was winding me up, or he was saying, and fucking my guy with shape bales. These aren't shaped, no, that's here. I can't remember what he said, but it was something funny, and I just wrote back going, don't worry, I got your back. Yeah, but you're going to give Conor constant, like, he knows he's going to get that off you whenever you need art loan, for example, needs bailed, or you know there's 5 acres there, 4 acres here, whatever needs bailed.
But at the same time, it's not like Darren's coming 20 mile.
No, I know, but well, here,
You
look,
really do put yourself down so much.
no,
like,
but I was going to say with the spraying, one of the reasons I bought a sprayer was because no one would come out and spray for me.
I'll tell you this much, right? Imagine Darren bailed 100 acres for somebody.
Yeah,
And had to wait a year to be paid. He's
that's
still up more money with you than he is with 100
Yeah, because
acres.
you paid.
Yeah.
Straight off the bat.
So, like,
well, I would have thrown him
You have
money
to-
today, but he hasn't got an invoice for me yet. So
you know, it works in both ways. You know, sometimes it's the smaller men that pay quicker
well,
than the
Darren
bigger
said he
men.
didn't care. Darren went, you know what? He goes, I just didn't want to see you stuck. So I was like, look, but like we've done a lot of work around here at the minute, to the farm. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
we've re-fenced a lot of
It's a good job,
ground.
that fence
The
beside
the big long fence down there. We've put a drain in as well from the wee field across the road, which is the one where I layered the 150. That's now got a drain that tees into a drain, so our neighbour was kind enough to, he just said I tear away with digging up in his field as well. So we've got a drain running through it, tees in, goes into the main drain that goes through his field. So that field now should be should be a hell of a lot drier. The lane now, the back lane, which was always kind of the lane that was it's kind of narrow, and especially the fence had fallen and all, I've now had widened, and in the winter time, whenever, because obviously you can't go at hedges and shit like that now, in the winter time I'm going to go and widen that a bit. The lane is now widened until, we used to call it the old cow lane. Do you know where my uncle's house is?
Uh-huh.
Do you know if you come down our lane and then there's kind of like a wee small lane on the right hand side? Well, that lane used to go the full way to the bottom of the middle of the field. But what I'm doing there is I'm widening that now, because at the minute you wouldn't be able to get around that with a tanker or anything. And I want it to be that, you know, if I'm doing, even in a couple of years' time, if I'm doing a first cut and I'm doing, say, the big field along the
You basically
road,
want to leave it that you can go anywhere.
and a contractor can come and go through it as well.
What was
with a
it
big
I said
fucking
earlier?
30 future proofing. You can get a 3500 tanker through the place.
You would not be doing that.
No, because
I wouldn't farm a simulator.
where I'm set up, you could just pipe it, but it means your man can also go through with the big wide tires and all
Yes.
down the lane.
But he won't be because compaction.
Down the lane
No, into the field.
with the big wide tires. The
Yeah.
man with the, how the fuck's he going to put the slurry in the ground?
Umbilical. You don't.
Aye, that's what I'm on about. The
Aye.
umbilical man.
Oh, I thought you meant with a
But he can
3,500 gallon tank.
Aye, but he doesn't now have to go through a heap of fields. He can go down the lane and round
Aye.
and into that field
Yeah.
if you know, if needs be. So the whole place is just,
Future proofed.
yeah, and silo and all to turn it into a one-way system to make it all a lot safer. Future proofed.
Bank account.
Even I'll be able to do it next year.
Fucking bank account is bad this year. Still have to buy cattle at outrageous prices. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I didn't know what I was going to do with silage, because you know, big numbers this year. 10 acres to cut. Celebrity coming through like.
He was probably going to put a fence up and put a wee pad, you know.
Do you know what? We were talking about this last night, and I said to Darren, could you justify that 10 acres? He goes, and the pit, and he goes, not in the big pit you have. He's like, but if you had a wee small pit made out of Lego block, he was like, absolutely, I could justify that going on to it, no bother. And I was like,
You could cover it yourself all this year.
yeah. But I wasn't sure what to do, because Darren,
You have to think about it if you're selling that silage.
I'm not selling that silage.
if you happen to be selling that silage, it would just be a pain in the arse then. Bales is just handier.
Easier to get rid of.
The plan is to not sell, but the
How
plan
many
is
cattle do you want to buy this year?
10 or 12. Probably 12.
Usually you buy five. Usually you were buying, weren't you?
Yeah, I could go up
Yeah.
to, I could probably, if the way it works, I could probably go up to more like 15, but don't want to.
Well, I think the last time I helped you get them across the field, I think 3 of them went through the hedge,
Oh, they were wild, but
and then 1 was half in the hedge, half out the hedge.
yeah. But the way this place is now going to be set up with all the gates and everything is like I can do everything myself. Don't need anybody
You
else.
just shut it off and let them go.
And then electric fence, just where it needs to be electric
Because I'm
fence.
pretty sure you've rung me before. I'm like, can you come down here? and help me
Probably
move
have,
cattle?
yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, give me
But
10 minutes.
I can show you another time the way it'll all be done, and I can
Yeah.
bring cattle from anywhere now on my own. So which is
Well,
which is
that's plus.
well, the thing is, because I work away a lot and all, like I
Aye.
could be coming home at 11 o'clock at night, and
Aye.
there could be something in the field or something. Hopefully not, but I've seen it before. You come on, the cow's fucking had been dehorned and it's rubbed his head against the wall, and it's fucking like Beirut there, blood everywhere. And you're just like, ah. And then you have to take the crush and you go out to block the yard with Mary, and it's cold in winter and Mary doesn't start. You're just like, oh, for fuck's sake. So,
Michael.
yeah.
It's a chain of unfortunate events for you.
Anyway, so Darren, who's doing my grass, Darren was like, "Are you going to cut?" And I was like, "I don't know." But to me, my grass looks like that field out there. The front looks like it's going backwards. Like it just didn't.
Does
And
it go back into the ground?
It was. It was just. It was like it was getting cold and just
Hey, Lord.
going back on.
It's like, fuck this, I need a receipt in my hairline.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's what I was saying about getting cold, going for more warmth down under. But I was like, right, well, it's either because it's the rains was this weekend. It's either like go now and get it where the quality's good, or I can get more tonnage, but it could be stemmy because as soon as water, like about a water gets that, and with the heat we have,
Yeah, grow.
it's going up like, and I'll be stemmed before you know it. I think anyway. So I was like, no, what, fuck it, we'll cut it this week. So we were
How
out
many acres did you have?
10. I told you, big numbers.
I suppose 6 to 7 bales to acre.
Yeah. So I thought that was okay going for. I actually had counted in my head 66. So I thought I was doing alright with 66
Also,
bales.
he didn't tell you the baler count.
No, 66 bales.
Oh, he did?
And I guessed
Nah, but you
66.
guessed,
Last night I reckon.
you should have put money on it.
Huey Devlin.
I was like, I don't think, I was looking, I was like, some of that maybe 6 bales steak or some of that 7 bales. There's some bits that's 5 bales.
Probably drove through it many times easily. He was judging every
Oh, he
row.
was out using his engineering skills.
No, it was
trying to
actually-
calculate
it was
the
actually-
He was
volume.
grass measuring and everything. He
Exactly.
doesn't know how to grass
tape
measure.
and working out the area of a semicircle for each row and stuff, you know. So I was buzzing on that. Like, it's probably the only time in my life I'll ever get it right. But so I went on ahead anyway. So Darren came down and mowed it last night, and then I've never mowed. Well, I says a lie. I mowed with triples once in my life with Adam Cooper, but he basically was just saying, "Go there, go here." Darren let me mow away in the TM 140 last night.
How'd that go?
I loved it.
Next thing I'd be like,
mow
I found a £500 mower on
Yeah,
Facebook Marketplace.
100%. Well,
Done deal.
that is normally what I'd be, but after the amount of maintenance we've spent money on this year,
Pays to buy something.
Buy cheap, you buy twice.
no, I'm just thinking, no maintenance is in around the farm. I just can't afford
Oh,
to
right,
buy
I thought you
fucking
meant
anything.
like-
right.
It's just
cheap Facebook
it's just
buys.
cheap. It's just
I
cheap.
thought we had got through to him.
No, it's just cheaper to pay Darren
You
Mullen.
need banned off Facebook Marketplace, I think, actually.
Yeah, it is cheaper.
Like a
to do
time
that.
out.
Just
Like, go sit
for
in the
now.
corner.
But
The good turn you're going to be like, "Pff, we'll be through at the water in a couple of years' time. I'll be putting it in with the 10X.
I'll sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace, but I don't think I've ever bought anything of it.
I bought PS5 and a
I-
PS4.
Yeah.
off it,
to be fair, if I would love to go for my own harvester, but again, that's just not anytime soon. Just hope someone local is
You're
nice.
stressed enough tonight. I couldn't
Trailed.
imagine you were fucking trailed harvester.
I was thinking that I have 2 trailers and the tractor and a loader.
Mary on that trailer.
Jeremy
need
bucked
to
right
tip
to
it.
Mary.
Huh?
Jeremy bucked right to Mary. She survives a fucking season with him. She'll survive anything. Like, no offense.
Is that why you've said so much bother here?
No, to be fair, whenever I drove Mary, whenever I went to buy it off him, she went like an absolute clock. In fairness, the only thing I had to do was to adjust the throttle. Was like,
Was he coming in with a 2-wheel wheelbarrow? Was he coming in with a 2-wheel wheelbarrow?
what do you mean?
A 2-wheel wheelbarrow?
Like a trailer?
No, like a 2-wheel wheelbarrow and tipping up the wheelbarrow and then buck cranking the wheelbarrow.
No, just the single axles he has there.
Being smart, you're not taking it on because you're too tired.
But he, well, just didn't make sense. But
This was just half an hour talk.
sure, you know it's going to
I
be
know,
his.
I knew. What time was it?
I don't know, probably 12
tell you.
o'clock.
Do you not tell me because you know I'll get up and go home?
But so we ended up getting it started.
What time are you working at in the morning?
Start at 8.
Same
I
as-
get up at silly o'clock.
Alright.
I start at 8 also, but I will not be getting up at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I procrastinate in the mornings.
Oh, I get up and go.
Severely
What time do you finish work at then in the morning?
8.
Oh, you'll be time enough for bed then.
No, exactly.
And then I'm back in the next morning at 8.
That's not too bad. Sure,
And
you're
then I'm
12
into
hours.
5. Half
Yeah.
5. 5.
I'll be fucking editing all this some more. But so went out anyway there, got it raked today. I have a great photo because you've got Cormac on the digger taking up the field, trying to do bats. Darren is out in the baler and the rakes there. So there's all three of them and it's just like, it's all go here. So then, yeah, I went and got the Merlot last night. Me and the Merlot don't exactly have the best relationship, never have.
So you weren't busy today, but you were busy.
I was pretty busy. Got the Merlot, then Adam landed, and I was like, do you know what? Take you the 110, chip you away. I'll jump in the Merlot.
That took me by surprise. He just went, there you go. And I was like,
I was just like, well,
okay.
shit, Connor's not going to be here till about 9 o'clock, so we would
I
need
know,
a
he forgot that I farmed.
It's not that. It's the way you were talking. I was like, is Connor actually available to come at a normal time? And I was like, what way is he going to work up with the milking though? Yeah. See, that's why the way you were talking, I thought, oh, he must be coming at a normal time because you were like, oh, sure, you pair start lifting or start drawing it in, and then I'll lift it. And I was like, okay, so you're going to be here for us drawing it in then. That's what I took from that.
Well, I didn't know what time you were starting at. Then I said, if you use more than half of it.
Well, I jumped on the Merlot then and
Good job,
rooted it away. To be fair, it was grand, like, but that Merlot, I think the injector pumps away on it. For the last like 6 or 7 years, anytime you start her, she just billows white smoke out of her on idle. But then normally that clears when you go up the rev. However, today she was fine until then the next thing she started bellowing black smoke, and I was like, I've never seen her do that before. And then I went put her in till put a bale. Or you actually asked me to lift the bale out to check if it was ripped.
Aye, because I ripped at one side and I thought I ripped at the other side.
Only Billy ripped, by the way.
Oh, that actually was the
it's
only
only
Billy
Billy ripped, to be fair, to give him his credit.
That we know of.
And
We'll not go there.
No.
she then pushed on. She started to run on. Only diesels can run on.
Yeah.
Do you know what running on is?
Basically,
They're running their oil
Yeah.
instead of, and the only way you can cut instead of diesel.
yeah, gasket away on her.
I think that
She wasn't milky in the cold, no, was she?
no, not milky at all. She boiled me like 6 years ago. Like,
Sure, the head gasket wouldn't be going on her.
I don't know, but she wouldn't be. The black smoke wouldn't be a head gasket thing, would it?
The white smoke, is that
The
not
white
one?
smoke, very much so, but the white smoke also means lack of diesel.
Right.
So white smoke can mean lack of fuel.
Like she revved and then died herself
But
off.
see, whenever you're sitting driving though, you'd hit about 1500 RPM and she just sounds flat, like there's a but then like you'd be sitting there and the next thing she would just start up and take off, and I was like, fuck me. She'd rev out and I was sitting going, fuck, is this thing going to run on? Because to be fair, the handy thing about the Merlot with the airbox, she has like a wee thing, literally looks like a fishtail. But if you just literally take it off and fucking shove her rag up on, she'll kill the air. So I was just waiting to do that, to kill the air on her. I was annoyed because she was doing well. She was doing a great job for me. It was very, very handy for what I needed to do.
Yeah.
But I just got to the stage where like she kept fucking about, and I was like, I'm taking this thing home. And then, as you say, hydrostatics don't really like being driven on the road. I think the brakes are seasoned at the front of her. So whenever you pull her into neutral, she just comes to a dead stop.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, do you know what? I'm getting this thing home to fuck.
To be fair though, hydrostatic will have a brake.
She does. She has a brake up at the front.
On the
prop
drive
shaft.
shaft, yeah.
Aye, but the bit that I thought was strange was when I touched it, it wasn't warm.
Oh, fuck, right,
Yeah.
okay.
So unless there's drums,
Don't know, no idea. I just know the Kramer's a massive disc brake.
it's the
camber.
same. It's like a brake on a drive shaft, and it's a prop shaft, like. But no, that's bone dry, or not bone dry. That's bone like.
She's cold.
She's cold. So I
Bone cold.
bone cold that.
Bone cold.
So we end up getting
Our bone's cold.
we end
Your
up
brains
get-
are cold right now, I can
we
tell.
end up getting the bales in, but probably gonna need your help now to restock them, Connor.
Well, hopefully, yeah.
So unless I can get something else, but I maybe borrow something off Darren, but that may also work.
Does he have a telehandler?
Yeah, he's with New Holland one.
I'd probably be the job. Yeah, probably be the job. I.
Well,
But
I was
if it-
hoping
well-
you could do it because I'm probably don't have time. No, so if I was hoping you could probably do that rather than because if that means I'd have to go to Darren's and get Darren's telehandler and then bring it here. Darren also doesn't know, and we're discussing this in the podcast. And Darren doesn't actually know about any of this yet.
If I went to Darren and got Darren's telehandler and drove it down the road.
Darren's just up from Donal, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darren's.
If he wouldn't mind me doing that, it'd be a lot handier than trying to get.
because you can tap
Kramer.
away at that while I'm doing the slurry then.
Oh fuck! I no bother.
Yeah.
Does he have a bale lifter?
Oh,
Oh well, he obviously would have a bale
Yeah,
lifter.
yeah, yeah.
No, Well, if that can be done, that would be very
yeah,
handy.
that's probably the handiest thing then.
Because Kramer can come for the second cut.
I'm hoping Mary will have the auxiliary spills on her by then, and I'll tap away with her.
When are
I'll
you doing
stack
second
with
cut?
her, and you can draw on. I'll stack
Okay,
with Mary.
yeah.
When are you doing second cut?
Middle of July probably.
Give me a phone call.
You might be marching. We actually
So that took me by real surprise. I didn't expect you to say
We
that.
actually
he's going really on.
we got a cross community grant to bring Adam onto the podcast.
I didn't see any of it.
Nearly Connor, it's alright. But
The only
back-
person who loses money on this is him.
Getting backhander too. I mean, brain envelopes getting passed about.
Wow.
backhander.
That was fun. That
But
was
if you're,
fun. No,
if you're smiling, then it
that took me by surprise.
Well, yeah, you probably. To be honest, if we're at the second cut, yeah, no, it'll be you pair drawn on.
So I did a good job then.
I just worked. Well, you're reliable, like. So I'll be. You can go in the fate. He can draw with whatever, and
Or if you want the wee tear away.
I or let him tap away in the fate. I don't care. I'll stack with Mary. Because then it means
Well-
if there's anything ripped, it's on me. Plus,
Aye, so we just drop it down to you.
Why
then
did
give
you worry about the bale lifter and greasing it? Fuck, you have a brand new bale lifter.
she rips bales.
How?
I
It's supposed to be
think
set wrongly.
probably. I have no hydraulic top
It's
link
too
either.
tight.
Or you
You
don't
don't need a
either.
hydraulic top link.
You don't, but
No.
she.
Well,
no,
I do have a hydraulic top link.
to
but
be fair, no, this year I was dead. I was 100%. It was not an issue. But she ripped 2 bales last year. Like,
how?
you tell me. I haven't changed how I do things. There's years I can go through without ripping a single thing. There's 1 year I think I was doing something along with Conor Kelly, and I ripped 6 bales.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I didn't even do that.
yeah, I find whenever you're
I could have done that and I could be talking pure
I
dog here.
find when you're putting them onto flipping them up onto their back, it would catch the air occasionally.
Oh, do you
So-
reverse as you're doing that?
Yeah. So
Well, you kind of need reverse as you're doing that as well as lifter up. That's a pain in the balls.
that was a bit of a balls. What we were doing today was far easier.
Oh, yes.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's grand. Like,
You boys, your neck muscles must be. My neck muscle is shot like from twisting and turning. Like,
no, it's just because it's something you're not used to doing.
that's what I mean. Like, you're used to it.
Have you ever used to breaking necks? With a car?
I not my own. But the what?
With your car or
My
not?
car. Well, not that one as much.
Well, you have a fucking broken neck now.
I know. That's kind of massage coming and go home here.
If you say so, Chief. Well, we move on to, I suppose, the main topic, which is we've already done it, Connor. Don't look at me like what
I want to go home.
We wanted to be.
I thought we already were talking about
We wanted to be the first ever podcast
Oh, why? That's right.
that
Yes.
actually done a podcast with Draw and Silage.
It's the shortest main topic ever. Right?
I can see why no one has ever done that because it's a complete
Because-
fucking handling.
Because I don't care what you're going to think right now, but Scully's here fucking the amount of times.
Oh, are we allowed to say that?
Nope.
No.
Don't make my life more difficult with editing, please.
Let's just say that if we weren't talking, you thought, oh, we've finished it. Now he ended up recording another 10 minutes.
Because you just didn't talk.
Because,
You
like,
just talked to each other, which is fine, but I didn't know that. If you had said here,
Aye,
me
you
and
hear
him was
it.
actually going to chat here for about a few things, I'd have went, no boy.
no, you talked the odd bit, and then we were talking to you, and then you stopped talking.
Yeah, because you stopped talking to me. Like,
You seem really heartbroken about that.
no,
really,
I was
like,
just
you
because
stopped talking to
we just
me.
didn't know. Now, if we
I
do,
didn't know what I was.
but if we go for it again next year, which we could do, we sort of would half know what we're at.
Aye.
And it would be a case of, okay,
You
it's
wouldn't-
not maybe the level of stress we thought. This year's pretty fucking stressful because we met another tractor and trailer in a really tight part of the road, but you'll find all that in a bit. So, without further ado, you're going to see him sitting in the Massey. Padraig is going to be joining them. I'm going to be in the Fiat.
And I am wild dirty looking.
So am I, it's fine.
Oh, that's okay then.
So, we'll catch up after that.
I'll tell you one thing. I still know what it's like to go back to a heavy clutch again. What? You still know what it's like to go back to a heavy clutch again.
I know the feeling of the light clutch anyway, put it that way. Aye.
Are we going up Cargan Road here?
Aye, best. I'm actually trying to remember the day that I have to do years now.
This is the first podcast I think anybody's ever done while drawing silage, and I have to have my tractor completely sealed off from the outside world.
Might close the sunroof.
Do you close your sunroof?
If I didn't close my sunroof, nobody would hear anything. This is the problem.
Soft. I left mine open.
I'll tell you one thing. It is warm in here. Oh no, big fan.
It'll be interesting to see what this actually sounds like, you know.
I wouldn't exactly say it's going to be the best listener experience now, in fairness.
Oh look, it's a wheelbarrow meeting a wheelbarrow.
Your man there's laughing at me as I'm going by.
And the kind words of Padraig Leonard. There's a wheelbarrow has met another wheelbarrow.
These boys here in that fence absolutely class.
It is very nice, yes.
Black fence back here for anybody listening. So yeah, this is part of episode 61, and I really just wanted to be the first podcast that ever did silage whilst actually on a podcast. I know it's basically like being videoed, but I kind of wanted to put our own spin on it. I also have my fiance with me, Rebecca. She's in the tractor as well, but like, she has a mic, but you can't see her because of the angle of the camera.
There's a shocking echo. I thought it was just me, but Padraig after turning around to me going like the sound of the echo.
Why is it? There's no echo off mine at all.
You won't be fit to hear it.
That is true as well, but I can hear you clear as day through my tractor.
What is this actually going to sound like though? Because of the way we're doing it.
I don't know. We'll soon find out. Ow, ow, ow. That's bouncy anyway.
I was just double checking there that my mic's turned on.
When I'm driving the tractor, we've been at your grass, and this is probably your third load you've actually drawn yourself.
No, I've actually drew 3 loads of yours, believe it or not.
I only thought you got the one load in mine.
No, tell you the truth, the way it sort of worked was, Padraig drove up the road and then I drove home.
Oh, I already enough. That probably works as well. How did you find getting it into the pit?
No, that bit was all grand. It was that long from the first load from my tip down it that the pit had moved that much further forward, so I nearly put her on top of the pit.
It's actually handier at the minute, I think, the way we're doing it now, because you can just reverse and tip across the pit.
Were you not doing that to begin with?
Nope, just watched something drop off my tractor. No, I wasn't even doing that to begin with. I was reversing back and going back a bit. Why, is that what you were doing?
No, I just always reversed in diagonally, you know.
Well, one of those I tried to reverse in, and Ken, I was like, you know what? I'll be really dead on to the loader driver. I'm actually going to park and try and put a load on the other side of the pit, closest to the wall. And I think Padraig can confirm what actually happened there when I tried that.
All I can say is you think too much at times.
Try that.
Talks too much.
And talks too much. Oh, fuck.
How are we going to get past this now? Oh dear. I fucking hit the Cargan Road, boys. Well, this is not ideal.
What's happening?
No, oh, that's my one.
He's like dead.
Back. We'll be right back.
And the one swing around and picked up.
That's quite tight, it says.
This is really, really tight. Great podcast footage right enough. If anybody could even see it, which they can. Fucking hell.
Jesus, that is.
Oh!
And I caught my wing mirror on his trailer. Fuck, that's tight.
Oh shit.
Aye, the two trailers went ahead a wee bit there.
Oh shit.
Fuck.
I'll tell you, for one thing, from where I can see it, it looks like you're basically on top of it. There's another trailer.
See that alright? Is there anywhere else to pull in even on this road?
I'm pulling in just where you're at the deep by.
There's a bit here too, I'm going to pull in here. There has to be another way to do this.
What's wrong?
Oh, sure, come.
Oh.
I don't know if there is.
Well, let them
honestly.
pull in there.
Hmm?
Let them pull in
Oh,
there.
aye, that's alright.
Just look at the road, you see people.
I don't think there's anything we could have done there.
You could have reversed, but yeah.
Aye, but could I reverse back there?
You're by him now.
Look, there's no damage done to either trailer, like.
Yeah, it's grand.
There's a wee bit bent in mine, but I'm not too worried about that, like. Anyway, I don't know how much of that I'm actually going to edit out to make it look like we think we've done alright here. I can see now why no one's ever tried to do a podcast with drawn silage.
I can really see it now, to be fair myself, yeah.
It would make sense, yes.
It would make sense.
There has to be another way of coming this, Conor. Would you be as well going out the Gala and going out that way?
You mean out the main line?
Well, even out the Gala road and over that way.
It's just the fact that you happen to meet somebody at the wrong place.
There's certainly nowhere to go, like. I know. Imagine going for third and accidentally changing the fifth.
Do you say you keep going for third with your fifth?
I tried to take third there and accidentally changed her in the fifth coming down that hill.
That happened to me so many fucking times.
How did you find driving the tractor right enough?
What?
How did you find driving this tractor right enough?
Right?
See, yours was, I was actually kind of spoiled driving yours, to be honest.
I have no idea what he said. It was really weird that it's recording us still and he hasn't a clue what we're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
What's really weird is me and Padraig's talking here and you don't know what we're saying. If that makes sense. But it's still recording it.
Yeah, because basically the way it is, I'll put the two videos, one on top of the other, and then I'll just cut out where I'm talking and I'll cut out where you're talking.
Savage week out over there, boy.
It's so bouncy.
It's not too bad.
I'm quite happy.
Yeah, we're quite happy here, to be fair.
My toes are freaking.
Becca's looking at me, is it? Yeah, Becca's. Becca's getting the life shook out of her. You can't see this in camera, but she has been flung all over the show.
To be fair, we were wondering why she wasn't going to stand in Massey. I don't know how it was the comfort.
I know, but I wanted to drive my own tractor for the podcast. Like,
I know she loves you and all that. There, sometimes you just need comfort.
well, this is true as well. She gave up something in a nicer tractor to just be with me.
I actually didn't mind driving yours, to be fair, all the same. Like, I sort of have to, don't I?
Like, it's grand as long as it's just knowing what gear to be in. Like, she's not dropping the revs at all going up this hill, then yours probably isn't either. But last year she would have done with no turbo.
I'm half open because you're so fucking slow.
What speed am I doing at the moment?
30k.
What is it?
30k.
I couldn't be going that slow. No way.
34 now.
Surely I'm doing more like 35.
Oh, you're going downhill now to 36.
She won't rev out past 2700 now.
Yeah, it's right.
Yes, Becca. Cows. Babby's Becca, yes. Becca's going cow spot.
You're happy as a pig and shit, aren't you? He goes in, he's savage for going into like podcast modes, like that. And he's so talkative and everyone's great. And everyone's
He doesn't shut up even when he's not in the fucking podcast.
Oh, you're not fucking joking.
There's a white car coming, but it's all clear on the other side, Conor.
He talks pretty much the same regardless.
Thank you.
Is it not mental that at one point this was one of the busiest roads in the country? And now it's dead.
I know, you just can't believe it. Like, it made no sense to build dual carriageway to leave this road like a ghost town.
I know it's only about 40 years overdue, like, but
This is the weirdest thing, that I have to fucking use this to talk to him.
But is it not all going to double over on itself? Because the mic will be picking up.
That's his problem.
much further down to one up here. I can't forget.
What?
Am I turning left here now?
Yes, turn left.
Yeah, I was starting to wonder there.
I'm just thinking, you'll not know what to do with your hands. You can't touch your head at the minute.
I'm not used to this here, having both hands completely unavailable to scratch the back of my head and rub my bald patch. I might have to follow the diesel after this next load.
What?
I might have to fill up with diesel after this next load.
So this one load will do then, you think?
I think so, for all intents and purposes, yeah.
So everyone, welcome to the LSD podcast, where we're attempting to do this over a CB with Bluetooth mics. Is it easy? No, it's not. Does it make sense? No, it doesn't. Does Michael have a smile on his face? Of course he does.
Has Becca just dumped her head off the door for hitting the bump? Yes.
And you said he goes into podcast mode.
Right here, when I see occasionally it makes like a wee doo-doo-doo noise, and I don't know if you're talking or not.
That's another person talking like that.
Unlikely, because it's a private channel.
So I'm after slabbering the Padraig about you going into podcast mode, and then I sort of had to do it myself to sort of acknowledge the fact that it is a podcast. Supposedly it's a podcast. And if anybody else is listening to this and you're laughing, just thank Michael Scullen, because the things you have to do to keep the man happy, savage.
The listeners will already heard this because it's been edited, but Becca just turned and goes, he said, the things I have to do to keep you happy, and Becca just goes, oh, do I fucking know?
Oh, poor Becca.
Don't think you need to, but you have a smaller trailer, so it's up to you.
No, it looks like we're away that Orfield there, so we don't need to.
Thank God. There's a savage.
Light crop on or not, though, eh?
Light?
Well, Well, your dad's the one that was telling me, oh, if you fight Bill Snaker, it's too much.
I was told this would be some of the heaviest of it, but I knew rightly there was football never grows well off.
He's coming to the bar Hotel, isn't he?
You want a video of what Martin Hotel?
Yeah.
That is a video. I'll show you here now where it is. Mark's going to video you get up the hill if you are going up the hill.
I forgot, just sticking for wheel drive and high second probably. No, they're down there anyway. No, don't need to, don't worry. Grace the verdict.
That's the savage view.
Fuck. I done that 2-3 years ago with a big trailer on and I fucking shit myself like I was panicking.
Is that where the brown stains come out of the driver's seat?
Aye, there was that much I haven't been able to get rid of it. Jeez, that was desperate, but... Oh.
Hello there.
Kinda. This is probably real bad podcasting, but it's just something I wanted to do. I was thinking it would be a good thing for TikTok, but at this point I don't know if there's even anything we can use for TikTok.
Nothing, because I don't know what way you'd even try and edit it, to be honest with you. Plus everything's going to overlap and stuff, you know, as well.
The software will pick up on it, but I'm just more thinking that the best part of this is probably me meeting someone on the road and basically two trailers hitting off each other.
As I open my mouth, it cuts off what you're saying, so I didn't get any of that.
I said probably the most exciting bit of this entire podcast is the fact that I met someone on the main road and ended up hitting their trailer.
What do you say?
That's what they did the trailer.
Oh, yes. It's funny as well, because the mic's obviously going to pick up what you're saying through the CD, through the, obviously, the speaker net. And I don't know how you're going to fucking edit from it.
Basically what I'll do is I'll take both videos and I'll put one on top of the other, and then whenever I speak I cut the sound from your video, and when you speak I cut the sound from my video.
Fair enough, I'll take your word for it.
It is going to take some time.
Sounds like a mic problem.
It is going to take...
That's what we need.
Are you still...
We just put one of them on him constantly.
Are you doing something perfect?
Every time Michael speaks, players
What are
that
they laughing at?
noise.
Probably.
Yeah.
We need one of them on mic constantly.
Fuck, I wish I had that
Just so you
option.
can turn it on there, like, and it just, you know.
This is the best thing that's happened today.
Talking away themselves.
You can't tell. I was just making up the shot.
He's basically holding it out so I can't talk. Then why is it muting? Is there a mute button?
I'm not doing anything, and I'm probably screaming here going like, I'm not doing anything either.
But you know when it's beeping.
Huh?
Is that somebody else talking? That's supposed to be.
No, I know.
I know it.
Do you know it?
Oh, I was thinking I hijacked his radio. It's not connected to his Bluetooth, I think.
I'm showing you, I'm not touching on it.
No.
There you go.
We're gonna have a minty bee.
Oh, connected to his radio.
Fine.
Oh, you connected to this video?
100s are turned up.
Is there something that can be done with that right enough? Huh? I think it's just asked to open the sunroof. It is so warm in here. That's about lighting too.
Vega,
Yes.
there's some cool pals.
What?
He's noticing your t-shirt.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know what you're saying.
No,
Did I hear Michael?
I just...
Michael wants to play goldfish.
Your t-shirt says cool pals.
Padraig's doing something, isn't it?
What?
How did you get it to say I want a pet for goldfish?
How did
Keeps coming through the CB. Michael wants a pet goldfish.
Oh my god.
See him sitting laughing away on his phone there. Connor's about to have a mental breakdown in laughter here. It's just said Michael loves wheelbarrows.
Oh, just he's not. He doesn't realise I'm doing it through his radio.
Magic! I didn't realise you were doing it.
I think it every time. Well, he paused while we're loading.
It's not like you can see him.
But we nearly be as well going down there and seeing what's wrong.
Michael, if you're down there, you go down there. I support
I wouldn't say I'm dying to go down there, I just want to be seen just all up here as well.
I support you if you want to go down there. I don't mind doing fuck all.
There's definitely the mic's on.
I'm going to be doing the hell with the looks of it.
Oh, then you can stay down there. You'll be able to come down and back up.
Hopefully she gets back up it.
That's why wouldn't you?
True.
I had more faith in this than Michael's.
His I couldn't get over it that year. His made it up way till as big as that. But every time you open it,
Connor's went quiet, he's obviously concentrating.
I am, yes.
How are you getting on alright? I was hoping he wouldn't take me down that hill, but he's probably going to fill you up to the top here, and then he'll take me back down, I'll follow him back up into the...
I'm here to go to hooray.
Was that your Dynasix if you hand out?
That's what...
Because video you here now too, you're a superstar. I think he'll take you down to do that last bit, Connor.
I'm not going to talk right now.
Yeah, understandable. She's done well there, to be fair now. Not a bother tear. Yeah, maybe. I don't know what to do with me here. It's fucking paper. I think he's doing something.
Don't know.
This paper's driving me mad off.
Oh, it's silent, Mike.
Do you know?
No. I just know it's driving me insane.
Hello? That's me up now. Oh, where's he going? There we go.
What a compliment again.
Oh, you felt that too?
Did you get nervous?
Wee, but I'm not going to lie. Did you get nervous?
Not really, it's not my problem. Good content.
I nearly drove under the hedge.
I'm going up the hill here now. Up the back hill right now. Thankfully. I have to wrap the tits of this thing because I don't want her to die. I'm scared of her then.
You'll actually be better than I will.
Well, I don't know. She wasn't great coming up the back hill there.
You've 50 days horse, but 2 days tongue.
Well, true.
Every time you open this mouth. So for anybody that's actually listening to this, if you are, you've clearly...
It's not inside me.
She's taking me around the front here.
You've clearly worked out the fact that every time Michael opens his mouth in the CV, it's bleeping.
Therefore, it'll be beeping a laugh.
The bleeping a lot, that's right. Very well done. I'll tell you one thing, son.
There we go. Good morning, passenger. I'm sorry.
I know you're talking because it fucking bleeps every time you go to open your mouth.
Huh?
Get over this with it.
There's something on this thing, right?
What? That must
There's
be.
something on this thing, right?
Yeah, like. Must be still quite a bit. Must be still quite a bit of moisture in that. So that knows that's
There's
on
ways in that, yeah. There's a fucking lot of grass in that.
I thought that maybe there wasn't, but for normal, like I threw home from there before, and she cleaned them gears like she had 2 ton on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's... When was it mowed?
2 days ago. You'd have thought it a lot.
Yeah, where are you going now?
I'm on the main road here now.
Couple flat out down the hill here.
Oh god.
Trailer pass now going down the hill.
As long as that trailer doesn't pass you, it's not too bad.
No, that's me full there now.
How'd you get on?
That's her fault anyway.
Check in the end when he gets out of the field.
Are you out of the field yet?
No, I'm coming up to the gate here now.
You just hear
Yeah.
Uh,
Both words. You come first this thing and you still get to hear going to.
Funny, once I do my quick run, only be like
Now, that's me coming in to get there now.
Congratulations.
well done, Michael.
Woohoo!
Achievement unlocked.
Well, it's still to get home first.
We go around the pit this evening.
Oh fuck no. We're doing
I know the hedge you made it went into.
I'm burning 32 litres to the hour here. This will
My fuel gauge at the bottom here now. Here. It's supposed to be
What do you say?
my fuel gauge is at the bottom here, so there you go. Normally you get a wee bit after it goes to the bottom, to be fair.
Lovely part of the comedy, isn't it?
Fucking class. So cute.
Fucking unreal. Unbelievable. That is an unreal view. It's unbelievable.
I assume you're coming over the carriageway.
Yes.
Look at this, you
Like that.
What the fuck? Is that a windrow or? I don't know, what the fuck is the rim?
It's a newer version of an Acrobat. These are all the old ones.
Yeah, I would like all the discs spun.
Yeah.
It's a random way to row up grass.
Yeah, it's usually a new one.
Over the flyover, you'll see on your right hand side a fella is using a contraption to row up grass.
Funny, I seen that from where we were at there.
You seen a man the other side of the flyover whenever you were in a pit?
See when we were down with Roy, I think down to the harvester there before we took off again, I can see him. Of course you could, yes. Oh no, it's just short sharper up the hills here now with the turbo lift.
Well, coming around the Jimmy, you want?
Yeah, that's right.
I think you're blocking me anyway.
Yes, I am actually. That's a very valid point.
Not recording that point.
We always talk about Cargan Hill being like an awkward hill to climb,
Yeah.
and she's slowly but surely
Shane fucking get there?
Climbing it.
Oh, you should build it. Is that just for your splits?
Splits and clutch as well. And then, excuse me, you can change gear here as well as here. So if I lift that up, that's clutch in the tractor.
Right. But can you go up to your ranges?
She will allow in the later ones before you had a... Well, if you clutch as well as hit that button, yeah, she will go up the ranges.
Alright, that's actually kind of handy.
The old Dyna shift, whenever it was the 1, 2, 3, 4, all your splitters were all done in the...
Oh, on the shuttle?
Yeah, whatever the fuck they call that shuttle.
Ah.
I don't know if I like it or not, but...
Better to have it than not use it than...
True, like that's the way my dad would normally drive this here.
Yeah.
The old loader tractor we had before was loader ready, so she had a joystick coming out with the gears on it.
Oh, yeah.
So she was the same as the wee tractor, only like an older version of it.
Yeah.
Me and Padraig are just debating life here, that's why I'm quiet. I didn't even make a word of that out.
Nope.
Comfy or aye?
Little bit, yes. My toes are free. That is the main concern. Oh, sadly.
Oh, he has very much got a big skid there.
That's just on about the brakes locking on. Now obviously he fucking brake tired there anyway, it's gonna do it, but you know, there's only the back axle that done it.
Yes.
Just locking them off a little bit. And then you see it's even like, so it'll either lock the whole lot up or else not lock up. Preferably not lock up.
The Smiths have ABS on them?
No.
No? Do they lock up a lot?
No, because they have load sensing.
Oh, right, so it's load sensing is...
Yeah, it's fucking simple. It's literally just a spring on the drawbar.
Okay.
So that way when it's pushed down, it lets off, we'll say it slackens the spring, and then that allows more air to go through.
Oh, right.
Whereas the spring kind of shuts the valve pretty much. It doesn't shut it like, but it half blocks off the valve.
Aye, so not as much
so
air.
there's no weight.
Oh, that is very simple then,
Yeah.
You'll get a decent podcast content out of me and Padraig's conversation here, to be fair. You'll get decent podcast material in our wee conversation here.
Start recording again.
I'm recording since the film.
Recording?
I recording since the start of the film alone.
Aye, but sure we have. Fingers last way. So I turned off the camera.
Well, at least you can have a section with just me and Padraig talking away here. I have another 14 minutes.
No computer
Hold
up
on
there.
now, you want to keep going?
And I'll keep going till I get to the house.
Your man's come on any burgers, like, it's quite cool actually.
Thought you seen it from the field. Thought you seen that from the field. Wow.
He has brilliant eyesight, it just doesn't work that well.
Fucking not joking. Wow, what the bounciness.
It's so nice and cool in here though.
Yeah, it's right.
Jeez, he's not far behind yet.
Well, the John Deere does 34 miles an hour, so he'll catch
Yeah,
up.
so he's travelled a lot.
I can do 28.
You should just change the kilometres for this. The tractors.
There's one of them speed jokes in the town. That's the only reason I don't.
What way did you go home?
The normal way.
I think they're going by the Gallup road.
You do whatever floats your boat high.
The Target road farther, but the Gallup road is easier to see.
Yeah, go for it then.
You have no idea what I said, do you?
Well, really market.
This probably would have been a right cool spot for the videos.
Yes, true. I always kind of thought like it's a big great wedding photo.
Yeah. Even just for the car or anything like.
I never bother ever genuinely never.
You don't take photos of your car, do you?
Huh?
You probably don't take photos of the car, do you?
The odd time,
Yeah.
but like never really time.
Yeah.
It's see if I'm doing something that's not fucking completely productive. We're just a longer part.
Yes.
There's me coming up Cargan Hill now. There's me coming up Cargan Hill now. I could never have done fifth up Cargan Hill before. That's doing it. Shouldn't be as fast as yours, but it's still doing alright. Have you met Mark yet?
Yep.
Where was he at?
Yeah, but he's there in blue.
Right, I'll just take a handy.
So yeah, as you can see, with lack of coordination and great difficulty, and also you can hear my tractor really well. You can't hear Connor's at all between the clips. So if you're wondering why the sound quality is a bit
Can you hear
weird,
about your pet goldfish?
we're recording this before I've fully edited it.
So if you
but
can.
you can hear it, as far as I'm aware. I'll doctor that bit to make it more obvious as well, because it sort of doesn't really fully explain
The
itself.
other thing about it is Michael's CB knows he never shuts up.
Yeah, it happened
And
last
every
night.
time he opened his fucking mouth, I went,
Yeah, that's really
And
fucking
then-
annoying.
Who was I picking up earlier when I was floating about? Just every now and again.
Could
Just
be
goes,
could be at Conley's, it could be Atchison's, it could be anybody.
couldn't make out a single word, but every now and again it just
That
went
channel,
off.
I also share that channel with Hugh Barr, so if he was in the area and I was happened to be in Channel 4, I could hear him. Kelso's are on that. Channel 4 would be quite a common one.
What is the distance on them?
I was able to get 14 mile with Hugh Barr one night, but in where Connor lives, you can only get about 3.5. But if Connor, I reckon, had his aerial up higher and not in the back of the tractor, we probably would have got to your house from Artlow.
I had left at a trailer at Green Road, and you could.
It's about a 3 mile drive, probably 2.5 as the crow flies over the
No,
fields right now.
no, at least 3.
Really?
At least 3 mile.
I was able to chat to Connor as he was left in the trailer.
Fair.
But there's one of our listeners, Cammy. He works in the the wood forestry industry over in Ayrshire. So Ayrshire or Dumfries and Galloway, can't remember. But they're up quite high.
Yep.
37 mile.
I could just go to the above everything.
Line of sight. 37 mile. Whereas you might struggle to get it from one side of Marfell to the other, for example. Brian Coppinger, he says, what about a segment on the modification we have done that we all regret or can't even look at old pictures of? I'll go first, and it's just an old Berlingo van with some cringy enough captions on her, like her stickers. Ones, if you can't hailer, you have to rail her. I put 2 Heaven on the 207, which I thought was hilarious at the time. And I just look at it and go, if I saw someone else with that, I'd just go, you dick.
Well,
You fresh as a mint on the polo.
that was as bad
You
as fucking
Tropicana
2 Heaven.
Tropicana was cool.
But I kind of like Tropicana. But I'm on the same wavelength as you because I had a financial mistake on the Lexus.
Oh yeah.
That was... Look, I see photos of that and I go, what was I doing? Although, locally hated would
I
have
had
been worse.
Lightning McQueen with sunglasses in my back window.
Huh?
Lightning
was
McQueen.
cool.
But the worst was probably, but before you even knew me, I had a Volkswagen Sunstrip in the Polo.
Oh, did
First
you?
car, totally standard too.
I didn't think that was horrendous, but
forgot it was a Volkswagen or...
Well, that's what my sister said.
Padraig Leonard says, next time up I'm bringing a box of BBs just so I can throw some at Connor. That's more of a statement than a question, but hey ho.
Oh, he's fitting to do it behind the fucking keyboard says.
Tar Vera, he has said, lads, there's all sides in the brain. Here's a curveball. Foreign holiday rental cars. Do you go for the cheapest manual rent something you'd like to drive, rent something fun, or just hell about in a crossover hybrid that handles like cat dung, but it'll do. If you were going to rent a car,
probably just whatever they give me.
It would depend on where I was.
And what sort of holiday it was.
If
True,
I was
yeah.
driving around some Spanish place, just give me the raggediest thing that I can try about.
Yeah, if you're in Greece or something like that, you
Yeah.
just go whatever's cheap.
If I was in America,
Mustang or something
I
like
would
that.
want something a bit more
Just say.
American.
What's ironic
Yeah.
is in Mustang, they will the rental car companies will charge you a fortune
For a Mustang in America?
for something like a Mustang, because they know that like Europeans will go, oh, I want to drive a Stang when I'm
Yeah.
over there. But Mustangs are actually quite cheap to buy.
Oh, yeah,
in the States.
yeah.
They're everywhere.
They're dirt
They're
cheap.
absolutely everywhere.
I'm not gonna lie, I have been looking at Mustangs.
Why?
Why?
I want a Mustang. But I know what'll happen. I'll buy a Mustang, I'll drive it for a month and go, I'm done with that now.
No, you'll probably not buy a Mustang.
No, we'll
You'll
end up steering
doing
and selling their
to your
credit
house.
kids.
Who told you my plan?
The Mustang made me do it.
you ever seen that meme? Do you know the way they make cars out of clay? Mm-hmm. And it was like making a murderer.
Andrew Muldrew said, just found out I'm highly going to likely miss King of the Cone, so is King of the Rings on this year? Don't know yet. That's the truth, Andrew. Sorry about that.
Is that the one you went to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said, best and worst driving on the roads you've seen.
Funny, I was for work was driving from Glenavy to Antrim today, and I can only assume that the person who was driving the Ford Transit was in a medical emergency, because he was driving like a fucking bell end, like any
Or is
opportunity
it just
at
because of
all.
the transit?
He came up my arse, and just in the manner he done it, I was like, this person maybe just needs to get somewhere like now, because I seen there was a passenger in it, because it was like way up my arse. So I sort of moved over in the road a wee bit, and as soon as I did, shot out by the next person, and there was cars all coming, like, so.
I don't know. Worst driving I've seen in recent times was just before Christmas. Me and Becca went to the Christmas markets, but she met me at my work, Ballyclare.
Yeah.
And then on the way back from Ballyclare, we were stuck behind this Mercedes that kept like slowing down to near stop, and then taking off to like 50 mile an hour, and then stopping, and like was all over the road, etc. Come to roundabouts, drove like badly around the roundabouts, come onto the motorway at Temple Patrick, where you come on, where the two lanes, you can go straight on Temple Patrick or left to the M2. Came to a complete stop there at the left hand bend, then took off and come onto the motorway. Becca went to go by him. I was in the Amarok. Becca went to go by, swerved out, nearly hit Becca. Yeah, I think they were absolutely pissed. Or if they weren't pissed, then they shouldn't be fucking driving.
Yeah.
So whoever it was, if they're not able to drive, get off the road.
Insurance is probably £30 a year.
Most likely, yeah. Have you seen any bad driving recently?
When I was coming back from Kellybegan, coming out of Belfast, it was just a Peugeot that just all of a sudden just went left towards the hard shoulder, and then did it again, and I was like, are you okay? Like, what are you doing? But also, see that hill out of Belfast?
The 3 lanes of them too.
Why are you in the middle lane? For no reason. It's a 3 lane.
Yeah.
Go to the left lane. I know it goes sandy nose or it goes
One
continuing.
time I was actually sleeping, like not sleeping, but like daydreaming, and the police came up behind me and flashed the lights at me and indicated, and I was like, oh fuck, I am sorry.
My mum was telling me apparently whenever they were younger, Dad got pulled over and got done for it.
Yeah, I flash the lights at people when they're on my way now.
Yeah.
I just flash.
I always sit to the right in the wing mirror, and I'm like, move.
Well, one time coming out that lane, actually, there's a woman hogging the right lane, and I drove up behind her, like she wouldn't get out of the way, and as I went to overtake, she was sitting throwing me the bird, and I was like,
What's the bird?
middle finger, and I was like,
What was it? Was that actually
The bird is the word too.
Give you the bird. Have you never heard of that?
You never heard that?
Have now.
Have you heard the bird is the word?
I have.
I said the bird. The
Bird is the word. Is it the bird?
Fucking love funny guy.
I feel like such a fucking guest right
Rock
now.
lobster. Do.
Because I got $30,000 of credit
That's
card
me.
debt. Yeah, same.
You are matching each other's energy right now.
And
I've gone beyond it then.
yeah,
That's
just
why.
kidding. But I remember she was like giving me the finger, and I was like, "You're the one on the wrong,
Yeah.
you reprobate." Like,
Yeah.
and she had like butterfly stickers and all
Oh,
around
of
the
course you
back
did.
of her
Was
car
it part by
too.
fairy dust? Was it?
I think it actually
Her
might have
bitch
said
dust?
something like that. No, it was something along the lines. I don't think it was as much as that, but it was like definitely like
Yeah.
butterfly Deagles and
Do you
all
know what
that.
I'm glad you never see anymore? Eyelashes.
Yeah.
They
On the
disappeared.
Beatles.
Just on any car.
At the best.
That was a really big trend for a while.
The best one I ever actually seen recently was it was a quote, and it was like, if you see like a family of or a baby on board sign, but the baby on board sign's kind of a little bit rugged, and it's like that bit means that changed probably about 1 or 2 now. It's now free to ram. It's just like fucking hell, it's rash. Dylan Jackson, I don't have a question, but could you just talk about Altezas for 40 minutes and make sure Conor doesn't interrupt?
Michael, you used to have an Altezza.
Yeah, it sounds like a
Did
dream.
you?
Sounds like a dream.
I used to have an IS200.
I know.
I've entered to try and get
You need
win an
one.
IS200.
Why can we pressurize him into buying an Altezza or an
You
IS200?
nearly have one bought.
Huh?
You nearly have one bought
What stage, yeah?
in 2017.
One of us.
No, I've entered a
One
raffle
of
to get an
us.
IS200.
Have you? Twin cams and raffles I enter now.
Oh,
No, I entered
the Regal Bayside Blue one.
I entered one recently.
V8 swapped.
Oh, is it?
Well, yeah, that'd be
like
cool.
that.
I think I actually may have entered that one too.
I was like, that's a nice car.
I entered one recently for Lucky Day competitions for like the New Holland with the loader and the trailer and all.
Did you see Arkings?
Aye.
PS13?
Yeah. I was behind going up the road with him, coming from Dublin there a couple of weeks ago when he was driving up that.
Might be worth a ticket.
I think it would be, to be fair. Hugh Barr, just me here's the whole farming season. Normally see him about 2 weeks ahead of where it is. Normally I'm mowing my first about now and knotted in and finished. But we were chatting about that anyway earlier. I think with all the good weather, people are going early now because it's just a case of shit, like I would need to go.
Okay, well the sun's changed.
Like technically I probably shouldn't be mowing down because like you're supposed to wait till the nitrogen's out. I'm only just about getting the nitrogen out now, out of the ground.
When did you sow fertiliser?
6 weeks ago.
You're grand then.
Yeah, but like they normally say 8 weeks to clear.
Not necessarily, no.
But I
About 40 days.
That's 6 weeks. Yeah. So
I agree. The non-farmer.
But normally you end up
Was
in a
it
wet.
still black green whenever you mowed it? Was it still black green whenever you mowed it?
What do you mean?
Like really dark green?
No.
Then you're alright.
Yeah, no.
Was it fairly light green whenever you mowed it?
yellowy?
Well, then the nitrogen is completely out of it.
Well, that's what I was thinking when I looked at it actually yesterday as well. I was like, that the nitrogen's gone. But yeah, like I think just with the good weather, it's kind of put a skew in things. And next year we might be back to normal. However, I'm probably going to try and keep going early. Like, pardon me, like middle of May. That's when I would like to keep going, because it ties in with how I would like to do things going forward for my farming plans. So I would like cut all my ground first before I put any cattle to it. Just something I would like to do for means you can anyway. What do you think about the season?
Just with the way the year's went, there's obviously a great bit of moisture in the ground, and then we have such good dry weather, and then with the moisture and all the nutrients, obviously we put in the slurry and fertiliser. The grass has just boomed because we did get rain for 2 or 3 days and then it did just dry up again. So the grass bounced out of the ground, and suppose most people just went, might as well clean off the ground, / if we leave the grass much longer, too stressed, and then I end up shooting. Feed quality go out of it, so may as well.
Morris Hayden, you might know how many tractors have you driven in your life?
Years.
Okay.
And now Connor's.
You won't know the answer to that, son. What would be he says here's a badly worded one, so Morris Hayden. What would be your favourite factory gearbox with split gears in a tractor? He's saying he's like, I like a Hydro Shift kind of thing, because I like Browns, but then there's a 309 LSA Fendt and a 3085 Dana Shift Ferguson kind of changed my opinion. And what boxes do you think they would be better if they were paired with a different engine? I know fuck all about splitters on a Ford 7810. I've driven with like next to no splitters in my life. It's either been straight gears or buttons.
You just drove splitters this evening.
What do you mean?
Well, sure, splitters is your 16 up, 16 down.
Oh, well, I was thinking
That's
more like
4 ranges with 4 splits.
but it's not a proper. I suppose technically, if you wanted to go down that route, I've driven the
Dual power is totally different again. Like, but
I've driven John Deere Parkwad, that's most splitters, isn't it? Because it's got the proper gears. I like power quad. I actually really like power quad because power quad, you still feel like you're changing gears.
If it's going back to manual, the previous to these last few days, I said Conor McLaren's 3050 was the most fun because she took the gears up and down, cycles and all were good.
She a H pattern.
Then after getting onto yours, I do enjoy driving yours. Again, for a full day, it'd be a bastard. Like if you're giving me something all day, every day, Vario.
Aye, but he's saying for splitters, what have you driven with splitters? Like, what do you prefer splitters?
So I've driven Range Command, Power Quad, Auto Quad, Dyna 4, Dyna 6. Classes.
You ever driven any old school splitter? Well, I think he's more aiming towards the old school splitter stuff.
Well, 8360s and that?
Is that not Range Command?
It is.
Yeah.
But it's still old school splitters.
Well, true.
Other than that, the only real old school tried I've driven is yours.
Yeah.
And never driven a dual power trider before. Well, I've driven Crash Box.
You've driven Jeremy's. It's dual power. Have you not driven Jeremy's 7810?
No.
Alright.
You drove it?
Oh yeah, no, I did drive it. I also drove it for Rahio last year. You drove the 390, didn't
I just let you tear away, yeah.
I would like to go on the Hydra Shift, the Case Davy Brown Hydra Shift. I would love to have a Case for Davy Brown about here, to be honest.
What way does that work?
Alan Murphy showed me one night. It's basically something similar. It's your 4 ranges and your four speeds, I suppose, and your 4 ranges. Something similar, just, but...
You would like Vario, Adam?
Yeah, you would love Vario.
Yeah, it's good on the farm sim, yeah.
No, genuinely it is. It's the same as driving your Golf.
Well...
I don't like Vario, personally.
Paddles? TSG? TSG?
No, like...
I'd say you'd like more like Power Command.
I will say tonight, and I don't know whether it's because I got more time in yours compared to his.
Probably.
Or maybe it's just because yours is a bit more...
Basic?
Yeah. No, I don't want to say basic, but yeah, just like what you're used to. It's just like it's almost just like a car.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it is. Except for changing
gear with my right hand, that took a minute. I preferred yours, but I think I just need more time in yours. I only got one run in yours. I think it's like I was in yours for a good few hours there.
Because you didn't have to fiddle about with his high and low. You were just in high all the time.
He just keep it high and I just sent her on.
And gearboxes, what gearbox would you like to see with what engine? There's a second question, which kind of ties into Eamon Dempsey's, but we'll...
Honestly, don't know. There's nothing jumps out to me.
I would love to see a Power Star with an auto quad gearbox. Not auto quad, Power Quad gearbox. So the John Deere.
Auto quad is just Power Quad with an auto button on it.
Aye, but I still like the clutching. So Power Star, you've got the sound and the roar.
You still clutch with auto quad. She'll go up the splitters herself.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's all auto quad is.
Okay, fair enough. But I was
like a 30 series Deere's auto quad.
Well, I thought they were.
No, auto quad is literally just you flick a button and she'll go up and as you change her.
I know I was changing them manually myself on a 6830.
Aye, but auto quad she'll go up the splitters herself.
Right, okay. Well, I think that if you had a Power Star, the sound of a Power Star, the roar of a Power Star, but you had all kind of like the more A, B, C, D, E, F.
Be the same as a Range Command though.
No, it's not, because there's something whenever you like coming through.
Or it would even be like an 8340 because that's the same.
But see when you're in you're in a 6830 or something, you're coming through like some Mahara or whatever, and you go from C to D, and she lets out that big pow out of her.
Yes, but that's more like you to the engine sound.
Yes, but you're actually physically going across that gear, not just pushing a button.
Aye, still again, SLE gearbox is the same principle as Power Quad.
Yes, but it's not.
I'm not completely lost.
The Power Quad looks like a H pattern.
Yeah.
SLE's not like a H pattern.
Still the same. You're saying you're going from one to the other, or you're going from one to the other.
Yes, but I like the way you can go like a H. I like it. The fact
so basically,
like a H pattern.
You want the gear stick.
Yes, but you also have the splitters.
Yes.
Yes.
But okay, right.
What are you thinking?
Well, it would be the same as an SLE and a 6930. You're still going to get the big pow and all between from 4 to 5.
Yeah, But I'm just saying it'd be a power star engine.
Yeah.
With that box. I don't know. I like the change in the. I like the way the John Deere goes.
You like the visceral?
Yes, I like that feeling.
So you want a gear stick from that in a New Holland?
Yes.
So if the range command was a
The
big
range
gear
command's
stick,
only A, B, C.
yes, but if you had A, B, and C,
No, I like the fact it's A, B, C, D, E, F. I like that. I like the fact it's 24 speed.
okay.
I'm not going to bite laws here, boys.
We'd love to hear stories from the community about tractor engine swaps. It was common practice in the 70s, 80s and 90s, this is Eamon Dempsey, to get more power from a tractor. Lots of Zeta crystals were fitted with Perkins 6-cylinder engines and majors with V8s. I was also told a local contractor fitting a lorry engine to a 48-100 and having them shorten the bonnet, leaving them with an FD 8100. Was a rod back in the 90s. I have upgraded a Massey 6170 with an engine from an 8120. No room for a silencer though. So basically, what would you love to see engine swap?
My tractor is an engine swap tractor technically.
Really?
Tier 2 64, she's essentially a Tier 2 6480 with 4-cylinder. That's what my tractor is. The 6.7 is a Tier 2 with a 4-cylinder in it.
I guess the 6480 was a 6-cylinder.
Ah.
Engine swap. Jeremy Hollands was probably his majors up there with the Ford Eurocargo turbo engine. That's cool as fuck. James Duffin has
7810 with TM engine. Actually, there. 7810 range command would be cool.
Yeah, seen that. Klingon Contracts.
Wait, range command?
No, Klingon Contracts is
If they
his
had range
power
command, though.
start.
Imagine the 7810 range command.
See, I still like that.
Aye, but just for
The A, B, C,
that,
D,
that
E,
would
F.
technically just be an 8630 then,
Yeah.
with power shift.
Yes, that would be correct actually. James Duffin has a Perkins V8 Ford 4000. That's cool as fuck. Cal and shit. Engine swaps and tractors. You hear like obviously the common one is the lorry engine and the Fates, like Shane Potter's Frankenfate for example. Mark Knapp has done it as well with his one in Holland. I'm not sure what John Deere boys do. I do know of a fella who close to here has put it's the same engine as a 7, 8, 10, but it come out of a generator rather than a tractor. So in the 8400 or 8410, like Ryan Connery would drive, is also the same engine as a 7, 8, 10, but different fuel pump and turbo. Well, this generator engine supposedly is spec to go 300 horsepower.
They probably had an easier life too. Just
up to like
humming.
1500. That tractor's not far from here. It's going into a 7710 John Deere. So a 300 horsepower 7710 John Deere. That's cool.
Genesis and 8360.
But is the Genesis not 7.5
I don't have a clue.
litre as well? Just much more ignorant. Genesis and A360 would be class, to be fair. Adam, tractor. Do you know anything about any tractors at all?
Aye.
Okay.
No.
Great.
Not that in depth
Basically,
anyway.
do you know Big Blue?
You mean Big Bud?
No, Big Blue.
Big Blue?
Big Blue as in the Genesis, as an Ulster
No.
tractor. Or the
Oh, I
Tundra.
might not say it. I'm terrible with names and stuff like
do you-
that. And, like, see whenever you start talking about numbers, that's when I go blank out. I'm like, what?
Do you know what I did see recently? It was an unfinished project, but I did see it. Was Mary with I think it was an 834. It was a 6-cylinder turbo, so it was the same engine as what Jeremy has, either a Ford Eurocargo or it was a Power Star and a Mary. Now that would be fucking cool. That'd be class.
Yeah.
That'd be savage. The newer version of Mary uses a 7610 engine, so 4-cylinder turbo. Jamie Higgins, I would bring Dylan Jackson in at the end and he will read you the Audi A4 B8 handbook as a bedtime story. That must be something to do with a private joke between the pair of them. Noel Carr, topic for you. You have 3 cars sitting on street, but one needs to be rear-wheel drive, something fast, and something for the diesel for the long runs. They can be whatever you want. So you need a rear-wheel drive, something fast, and something diesel.
Twin cam?
Yeah, okay, that's your rear-wheel drive.
My Golf.
Okay, yeah.
The diesel, yeah.
And
The Type R.
yeah. As
You just did it on a raffle for a twin cam and you're set.
Yeah.
Or an S200 with a V in it.
Like that.
That wouldn't.
That would be.
What about you? Rear wheel drive?
I want to say twin cam, but I don't want to be the same. Well, I kind of prefer the Sprinter Torino with the pop-up headlights.
All right, fucking took how many fish you are over here.
Yeah, we'll go for that for rear wheel drive because like
Something fast.
I don't want to be cliche and say my Golf, but
Yeah, I'm gonna say my cigar for it, like. So.
my Golf
Yeah. Okay. Diesel.
B5.5 Passat Highline.
No, you're done talking. To be honest, for me.
Estate.
So, Matthew's old car?
Yes,
Yes.
but not that one.
What, hybrid turbo?
Oh,
Yes, deadly.
I'll let her sing.
One rear wheel drive. I can. Same as you. Something fast. My car, but if anyone wants to swap me a chaser for it, also up for that.
Would you take a chaser for your car?
Fucking sure I would.
Would you take a twin cam for your car?
Absolutely.
Did you not mention that there? Right?
Yeah. After that, I would take a JZX81 as well, or a JZX100 Mark II. After that,
Probably it's JZX90.
no. I like the 81s. I like the 100s.
Oh, Mark II.
Really like the Mark IIs. But yeah, UK spec twin cam rear wheel drive. My own car as the something fast, I suppose. Diesel. I'm a rock.
We're so bored.
You are, but
We like what we have.
Yeah.
Like, that's,
well, are we not in a nice enough position
Yeah,
that we
I
can
can't
own
really
what we
complain.
like?
I can't
Do you know
really
what I mean?
complain,
Like
like-
there's something to be said for that. Okay, so this was only supposed to be like half an hour. It's been 1 hour 42 minutes long.
Hold
I
on.
am so screwed tomorrow.
So yeah,
Thanks very much for listening
from
to this,
a very
folks.
very tired Connor, Adam, and me.
I might take a pre-workout before I go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, probably a bad idea.
I have to drive the tractor home now.
I have to park and ring the fucking shed. It's not
Thanks
really the end of the
everybody for
world.
listening.
I'm gonna get like home in like 5 minutes here.
Well, let's do 26 mile an hour.
Oh no, like it should take me like 20, but
Yeah.
go for things.
What's your Insta or what's your what's your medias?
Is it bad? I have to go and check, man.
It's like MCC.
MCC 7.5_R, which is ridiculous.
Is that you and everything?
That's a question. Oh.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, it's the same as TikTok.
Beg you on.
And yeah, I'm a bit weird with Snapchat.
I'm Michael Scullin _ on everything bar Snapchat, which is mscullin
I'm Conor McGow.
on everything.
Yeah.
And you can
Conor
follow the
McGee.
podcast at Limited Slip Diff on absolute them. That's fucking Revolut. If you want to send me money, work with me. We're at Limit Slip Differences on absolutely everything. Time for bed.
See you later, folks.
Best luck, folks.
Bye.